get found in the night time, gotta get mine. Ain't taking no shots on the lounge, on top of the throne. Call up my home, big chain back home, polishing this back, 10 crown. Gotta lick quick and it's so cold, the flip is once again in this town. So it's over the flip of bird, my way to the curb, to a swerving road cloud. To pick up the rest of my goods, let's bring on the mission for calling the phone now. Joe, when it hit the ball, feel around like every day. Put four more goods, I'm a pro with this strobe until we get up in the grave. The lane, put it in the drop lane. It's part of the place and quickly roll up. Gotta make that money, man. I'm out of the project, that's the show. The fucking make a phone, so drop it on top when they into the room. Them tone, I'm not shaking the dice and hit them in natural. So the fools and I'm looking at love thing. And better not think it's funny. I'm coming up with it in that watch, cause flesh be loving is money. I'm giving up love to the hustle, all the facts and bust, making that money stand on your feet. And you better believe that I had that taste for the grain. It's not that mistake. City, I'm gonna try, get my stand down from a crime, and I hit it with 9-9. Gotta keep that bankroll, making me say it, boy, these niggas are dying. Here's some single for lick up that 211. Gotta get what's my best feeling. Then kick it up, dust on the trail and feel it, 187. That's how it is, and it got to happen in the night. One mission to check the bill and still be real. Looking on the clock, people on the ground. Won't sleep till I'm done up. Got a place to turn up. Heard up another plotting scheme. Gotta make some breakers so good up, put up. Gotta get that business out, even though we want to run the time.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Maximum Overdrive third year. I am the host, Maximum Black. Shout out to my strong peoples in the chat as always. Super Soul Sister Carly Jane 79, hoorah. My young sister Candy G, music aficionado, hoorah. Member of the Earthen Nation, simply unique. I'm going to start pronouncing you like that, simply unique. Member of the Earthen Nation, simply unique, hoorah. You know something? She is the first member of the Earthen Nation. She is the very first one that joined. Shout out to my OG brethren, Hassan Burton, Nick. That's what's up. So we're going to get into what we're going to get into while everybody running around hollering and screaming. We got some other stuff to do. We got business to attend to. We're trying to build a nation. So give me a second to get myself together. I'm sorry, but I am Black folk, so I'm always discombobulated at the beginning. All right, let's see here. All right. Yes, you are, Neek. Eventually, Neek, you're going to have to get another account or change your screen name. If you don't want to change the screen name, you can just get another one. Because we're going to give you a new insignia shield with the EN insignia on it, okay, with the dragon logo and all that stuff, okay? And you're going to have a EN underscore in front of your name. There's a reason why we do that. We do that to promote unification. Okay, one of the things that we stress in the Earthen Nation is unity, which I will be talking about again tonight. Okay, we want to stress unity so much that it becomes nothing for you to think about, it becomes automatic. You know, to the point where it gets in your mind, embedded in your mind so deep that you couldn't imagine what people did without unity before you became unified. That's where we want to get the mental of the Earthen Nation members. That's the mental where we want them to be. So to do that, to create that kind of unity, we got to first break them away from being unorganized, distracted, right? And being ununified, because not being unified has become a norm in many Black communities. So we have to override all of that bad programming by implementing new programming little by little, such as uniformity, okay? Which is what we are establishing with the EN underscore for the name, okay? That's one of the small things that we can change right away to get people thinking of joining together. Joining together as a large group is also unity. This is what the Discord server is for. Okay? So everything that we do will be promoting unity in some way, shape, or form until it becomes absolutely second nature to you, to where you can't even imagine yourself without unity. And that's when we will excel. That's when we will catapult ourselves into the stratosphere. That's when we will become and stand e pluribus unum, meaning standing as one. Okay? So let's get into, first of all, give me a few seconds here. And I'll simply get started into my rant. And then I'll open up the panel. A lot of wild stuff took place this week, didn't it? Well, actually last week, all the way through this weekend, you know. All right, I've got my goose. I am a great goose man. So, all right, here we go. All right, let's get into the topic. Ebulliency. Ebulliency within a salubrious environment. Now let's talk about what that's all about. Ebulliency is a state of being cheerful and happy and full of zest and energy, joyful. Okay? And the ebulliency that is created by the salubrious environment produces people who are ebullient. Okay? And these people are cheerful people. They are joyful people. They are energetic people. They're always positive. They're on the upbeat. And when you have a people like this, it makes striving very, very easy. It makes achieving and accomplishing goals extremely easy. It's almost child's play at that point, when you have that kind of healthy mentality. When the environment is one that produces everything that the people need so that they can be somewhat content, but not overly providing things to the point where we become complacent and lazy. And we don't understand that we have to stay on top of our game to continue to forge ahead. So it's very important that our environment, the salubrious one that we intend to create, doesn't oversaturate our people with resources that will mentally bog them down and make them become complacent. And so this is why we also will promote the worker or the builder mentality amongst our people. We don't need philosophers, okay? We have enough storytellers. We have enough people walking around here talking about nonsense, talking about the places they've never been, such as the Milky Way. I heard two dudes having a conversation about what's going on in outer space. See, let me tell you something about the mind, okay? This is why everything that has happened to us, it's always been through the mind. Even though you see the secondary effects, which are physical, which have manifested themselves into the physical, it starts with the psychological first. See, when you can corrupt the psychological state of mind, you can pretty much put anything in front of a person and they'll believe it, because their mind is corrupted. Their mind is no longer working on that natural, logical base, that common sense. This is why most people in the Western philosophy poo-poo common sense. They don't want you to exercise common sense, because common sense is natural logic. Common sense sees through things. It allows you to see the phoniness of things that are taking place. It also alerts you to certain dangers of things that are taking place that are not good for you. I'm sure many of us have heard that old saying, before destruction comes the warning, right? This is what common sense does. And so when you have a corrupted mind that has been besieged by the poisonous programming of white supremacy, and your identity has been arrested and replaced by an avatar that is completely obedient to white supremacy and racism, then you can be told anything because your avatar, because the artificial avatar or the archetype, right, that's been created by white supremacy through subliminal programming, is obedient to white supremacy. So because your identity has been completely arrested and is now under siege, right? Many of us have grown into adulthood and don't know what it's like to be ourselves because your true identity was arrested when you were a child, because you were being programmed. If we were to strip the programming away from you right now, that's been put in you by your parents, who were also brainwashed in many cases by white supremacist rhetoric. If we was to strip that out of your mind right now, many of you wouldn't even know who you are, because you have never been yourself. You've only been this person that was created by white supremacy since childhood. Arrested development is an understatement. So getting back to what I was talking about the mind being corrupted. So when your mind's corrupted, then you can walk around here and easily be led psychologically by people who are con artists, people who seek to use rhetoric or fanciful rhetoric to confuse you. It misleads you. You have two people sitting up there having a conversation about what's going on in outer space, about the Milky Way, telling you that the sun travels around the Milky Way and comes back. I've heard these kinds of conversations take place. And so, again, when your mind is corrupted and it's no longer functioning properly, right? Then you may believe this nonsense. You may sit up there and say, wow, man, did you say the sun travels around the Milky Way and then comes back around the Earth and then it does it again? And so that sounds like some real serious knowledge. It sounds like this dude throwing it down, right? This is the people in your conscious community. Yo, fam, at 350,462 billion quintillion times light, the sun travels around the Milky Way and comes back around the Earth, and the moon is smiling at it and all kinds of shit like that. You're like, ooh, man, that's deep. I'm telling you bullshit. Sounds good. It sounds very, very studious. He's telling you bullshit. You don't know where the hell the sun is going. He doesn't even know where the Milky Way is. Doesn't know what it looks like. He's never seen it. He's never been off of this planet. There's only so much you can learn by looking at stars through a telescope. At some point, you must go there. You must see things for yourself. You must take a sample size with your eyes. If you've never been to the Milky Way, how do you know where it is? And if you don't know where it is and you've never been there, then how do you know the sun travels around the Milky Way? I absolutely demolished a so-called conscious community dude, a so-called woke brother, right? Who was talking to all of this outer space nonsense with one simple question, right? Sugar B, what's going on? He was talking to all of this nonsense about the Milky Way and this and that. And I asked him one question. I said, hey man, where does the Milky Way begin and where does it end? Conversation was over. Because he doesn't know. He has no effing idea. You know why? Because he's never been off this planet. And you see, when you have a corrupted mind, right? And you're being fed this garbage, you don't know any better. You think this person is smart. You think this person is telling you some real heavy shit. Oh, they're telling you shit, all right. But I guarantee you it's full of serious bull. I don't want to hear anything about you read a few books about some damn stars out there, and now you know what the hell is going on out there. You don't know. You've never been out there. You've never seen the Milky Way. You don't know where it's at. You don't know where it starts or where it begins. So if you don't know any of this information, then how the hell do you know the sun travels around the Milky Way and comes back to the earth? But you see, if your mind is corrupted and unhealthy, okay, and working off the poisonous programming of white supremacy, you'll believe this shit because you're looking for something to latch on to. You're looking for knowledge. You're hungry for knowledge. It's natural for us to be hungry for knowledge, even if the knowledge is bad. But if your mind is corrupted and unhealthy, then you can't tell the difference between bad knowledge and good knowledge. So you got this phony sitting up here calling himself some kind of woke brothers conscious community, telling you some BS about the sun travels around the Milky Way, a place where he doesn't know, a place that he's never seen, a place where he don't know the beginning of the end of, but he's telling you about it. And then they switch the conversation over to this more BS. Well, man, you're vibrating off of a frequency of 200 and something megahertz, or 300 and so and so megahertz, or 400 and so and so megahertz. I don't really understand what any of that means. And then tell you that they don't, and then if you don't agree with them, they tell you, man, I don't mess with you, dog, because you on a low vibe, you vibrating real low. What? Let me tell you how stupid this is. Give me 1 second. Let's expose this vibration nonsense right now, okay? Vibration, okay? Now, the definition of vibration is an instance of vibrating. Some kind of fluid movement, some kind of oscillation, right? An instance of vibrating. So how do you see that in a person? How do you know what frequency they're vibrating on? What do? You lay your hand on someone to feel if they're vibrating, and if they are vibrating, what do? You count the vibrations like you take someone's pulse? This is grade A bullshit. But you see, you get lured into it, right? Because they're the part of the conscious community. You notice how they always use the word consciousness like every other damn word? Because they're full of shit. That is a distraction. Consciousness is the ability to walk at 5,000 miles an hour while never breaking a sweat. And before you realize it, your consciousness kicks in and say, whoa, I'm moving really fast. This is how stupid they say. You see, when your mind is healthy and it's not poisoned by negative programming, these people sound foolish to you. And they are. telling you stupid things like you're vibrating at 462 megahertz. Like they actually really know what that means. And then they also say stuff like, "Yeah, family, what are you doing today?" "Hey, man, I'm having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." "Yeah, that's quantum physics, yo." "Word? Yeah." "Why is it quantum physics?" "Because you're having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich." "Well, what if I drink a glass of milk?" "Well, that would be quantum mechanics." Grade A bullshit. Now, I sat there and watched the stream of a particular person in the conscious community say some shit like, "Family, I astral project every night. When I was locked up, I was astral projecting." "Oh, really? You were astral projecting?" He also said that he astral projected one day while he was locked up in his cell, and he went to another planet and he met these super beings, and they sat down and they had lunch. Now, remember what I just said? Let me say it one more time. He was in his jail cell, right? And he was astral projecting, meaning your spirit's supposed to leave your body. Now, in reality, once your spirit leaves your body, that means you're dead. Okay? The spirit doesn't come back to the body. But according to him, he was astral projecting his spirit out of his body. Okay? And he happened to come to another planet. Yeah, Lucy. Right. See, he'll come in here and make me laugh. I'm trying to be serious. Shout out to I Am Lucy. That's my girl there. What's going on, Jarhead? Anyway, see, she got me laughing now. Oh, I got to get my mind right again. Yo, anyway, so yeah, so like I was saying, right, okay, so he astral projection, okay, into another planet, going to talk to these extraterrestrial super beings, right? And they sat down and had lunch. But here's my problem with all of that, though. They were black. Anybody find that odd? They were black. And they were on some planet that he can't remember the name of. Well, what language did they speak? I don't know, family. I just couldn't understand them. Well, did they speak English? No, I don't know what it was, family. Okay, so you were in jail. You astral projected out of jail somehow, went to another planet and met extraterrestrial super beings that were black, who spoke a language that you couldn't understand, but somehow understood. So see, this is the type of BS you got to pay attention to. Well, we had dinner. Okay, well, what did you eat? Oh, I don't know, family. Well, what do you mean you don't know? I don't know what it was. I just know it tastes good. Well, what did it taste like? I don't know. So let me get this right. You're in jail in a cell that you astral projected out of, went to another planet, met some extraterrestrial super beings that were black, who spoke a language you do not understand but somehow understood, don't know the name of the planet. They fed you, you don't know what the hell you ate. Nor do you know what it tastes like. My question is, well, why did you stay up there then? Until it was time for you to get out of jail. Hell, if I can shit, if I'm locked up, I'm doing some years, and I have to project my ass somewhere, I'm staying there until my time is up. I'm gonna float my ass back in my body, like, yeah, what up, family? We out. What the hell I want to come back and be locked up for when I can go hang out with some extraterrestrial super beings and have and speak a language that I don't understand but really understand, and they're black and they feed me shit that I don't know what it is or what it tastes like, but I just know it's good. Hell, that's paradise. That's better than being locked up. If you can do all of that, who the hell wants to stay locked up? And then these motherfuckers, and then they get into these conversations about quantum physics, and none of them know any quantum physics problems. They can't do any algorithms. All they know how to do is say the phrase quantum physics and quantum mechanics. Hey man, can you do an algorithm string? What's that, family? Well, that's quantum physics. Nah, family, quantum physics is well, yeah, you got to put some numbers together. Well, I don't know that, family. Wait a minute, family, what do you mean you don't know that? You just said you knew quantum physics. Well, I'm just saying it because it sounds cool. They don't know a damn thing. I know quantum physics, okay? I'm a computer guy, and plus I dabble in metaphysics, okay? So I know these guys don't know shit. But they get into these live streams and tell you bullshit. And you believe it because your mind is unhealthy. Your mind is polluted, your mind is corrupted. And so you fall for this nonsense. This is how these people, they basically rob you. They're land pirates. This is how a couple of phonies were able to amass $1.3 million off of a bullshit debate. So check this out. You made 1.3 million off of a debate called Kemet on Trial. Did you do anything for the black community? Did you help the black people? Did you at least buy somebody a hamburger or a cheeseburger, something? Did you get somebody a pair of shoes? Did you help out a mother or a father or a child? You clocked 1.3 million off of a bullshit debate called Kemet on Trial, where you had a bunch of frivolous bullshit artists in there talking shit about the Bible, Egypt, talking about being a Hebrew Israelites versus Kemetics versus BS. No, Gray Shark, they don't know how to solve anything because they're full of shit. They don't never talk about the damn community. You got this motherfucker over there now talking about, I take people to Kemet. Refuse to call it Egypt. Just absolutely refuse to call the damn place Egypt. Don't want to have anything to do with calling it Egypt. It's Kemet, even though it's spelled KMT. There's no vowels in it. You know what, man? I wish we can wake up one of the ancestors and bring him back, right? Who lived during that time when it was called KMT, right? And ask him a question. Hey, great ancestors, KMT, how do you pronounce this? And I want the person there who keeps saying the word Kemet, right, to be present. So I can see the look on his face when the elder ancestor says, KMT. KMT. Then what the fuck is he gonna say? Can you imagine the look on their damn face? He had the nerve to charge $10,000 to come talk to some high school kids. The dude is barely verbal. Are you kidding me? Have you ever heard him talk? But let me tell you something, man. These motherfuckers do book reports and power presentations and shit, right? And they come and throw this shit together talking about they knowledgeable. And you got so phony, the one they call Baba Heru, some ex-cop walking around with some beanie on his head, looking like a tall version of Dr. Seuss's Grinch. Talking about that he can recite the metronetta, even though the metronetta don't have any vowels in it. So what does that sound like? What does it sound like when you are enunciating all of these letters that have no damn vowels? But the hell with that. This motherfucker gets up and have this big presentation where he sits in front of everyone reciting the metronetta and niggas is falling for it. He's sitting there reciting the metronetta like this. What the fuck does that sound like? Doesn't that sound like them cats in church when they catch the Holy Ghost and they swear they speak in the tongues and they go, shakalaka, shaka? That's the same goddamn thing. So this motherfucker sitting there talking about some Hey dude, it has no vowels, dog. There were no actual words there. Shut up, young man. Yeah, motherfuckers in the crowd doing something. Whoa, Baba Roo, man, he deep, man. That nigga was reciting the metronetta. Yeah, but the metronetta has no vowels, dude. How dare you say that? Well, why not? It's true, isn't it? How dare you speak on the brother Baba Haru like that? I am not speaking on nothing. I'm telling you it don't have any vowels in it. You know what I mean? This nigga talking bad about. No, I ain't talking bad about no. I'm just telling you. These niggas are crazy. And then they had this one dude, right? The Almond Rod Squad is a joke. Okay? Unk and them are an embarrassment. Okay? First of all, how you get your whole crew wasted by one person? Y'all supposed to be book smart and knowledgeable and all that. Okay? You get laid out by one person. Your whole crew. One dude came by and bodied your whole crew. And you sitting up here talking crazy. Uncle's up here talking crazy, talking about evolution. Talking about what about wills? Don't dogs come from wills? Why are the wills still here? Fuck you mean wills, nigga? What about wills? Don't dogs come from wheels? You know, when he said it, you know what? Don't that remind me of? When he said, what about wheels? Don't dogs come from wheels? What came in my mind when he said that, right, was the movie Coming to America. And the little barbershop dudes and shit, right? Remember the little black barbershop dude that Betty remember talking about? Ooh, I walked down the street, right? And I bumped into Dr. King. Knocked me down. I fell down. I said, oh, Dr. King. Dr. King. Yes, he did knock me down. Yes, he did. What about Wills? Dr. King. What about Wills? Dr. King. What about Wills? Same thing to me. I don't know what the hell a will is. I know what a wolf is. Maybe a will is some kind of new animal, so I have no idea what that is. So getting back to, I'm sorry, sometimes I can go out there, but anyway, let's get back to the ebulliency within the salubrious environment. So to create this energy, this joyful state of mind, this zestful and zeal state of mind, the environment has to produce the very necessary resources that can create this kind of state of mind. In order to do that, the environment has to have everything that you need in it. It has to be able to produce food, clothing, shelter, entertainment, leisure. Well, I think entertainment and leisure is the same thing, well, kind of the same thing anyway. Some would argue that it's different, but I don't know. Who cares? It's tomato, tomato, you know, and rest. We need rest. Everybody needs rest. There are some things in the Bible that I actually I think are very good for you, like rest when you're weary. That's yeah. Baba Haru? Yes, there is. I'm trying to find it. I had it one time when he was sitting up there. I'm gonna find it again. Great Black Shark. Somebody try to look in Baba Haru, right? Recites Metal Netta. Okay, if you come up with a video, the way he's standing at a podium talking about some that's it. It's out there. Okay. Baba Haru. The black dude who used to be a cop, walking around looking like the Grand Poobah, who, in I believe his profession in the conscious community is that he makes unks. But getting back to this disgrace called the Amara Squad, right? These guys are an absolute joke. Okay, they got wasted by one dude, and then all of them, and then they brought some one dude in there talking about he can read hieroglyphics. Right? Some phony that they had on a phone talking about, okay, well, let me see. Let's look at the hieroglyphics, right? And so they had the hieroglyphics with all of these images on it and shit. Tables and chairs. It looked like some kid game. Okay, tables and chairs. He said, well, let me tell you, this is looks like a door, and this is a chair. And the chair is close to the door, and this looks like a person, and that person is close to the chair. And this looks like a door that is opening. So the person is walking to the chair while opening the door. This is what he called translating hieroglyphics. This looks like a chair sitting next to a door. This looks like a person next to the chair. who's walking to the chair while opening the door. And you got people talking about some, ooh, brother, zoom, boom, 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 you did your thing. This guy's got these grandioso, over-the-top names. How your name gonna be Brother Enoch U Alasulu and you from Brooklyn, New York? Nigga named Zumak Arabuz Kingdom Come King Tut Amubu. That nigga live down the street. Nigga live on Corn Street. Seriously? These dudes, I hate these dudes are, man, who got me started on the conscious community? See, I got to get off of them because I hate them so much because I used to be in the conscious community, okay? And one of the reasons why I left because of these phonies and these scam artists. The conscious community used to be something when they had real people in it. Now it's saturated with a bunch of con artists, land pirates, scoundrels. So, you know, and these niggas swear they fucking know something, man. They argue the most frivolous bullshit you have ever seen or heard in your entire life. These niggas will argue for 10 hours about a freaking marble. $10. But brother, you don't know the color of the marble. The reason why the color of the marble is that color is because of the science behind the marble being a different duration and a color which is magnetized under the weight of the marble which hits the ground. Nah, family, you wrong. The reason why the marble is that color is because it had another marble in which it lost and it can't get back because it's a bad baby mama. And they're going on for 10 hours about a marble. It is complete and utter bullshit. If you go and say something to somebody like, hey man, what you believe in, man, I believe in God. Oh, you believe in the black woman? Nah, I said, I believe in God. Well, you know the black woman is God. No, I didn't know that. Well, she is. Well, no, she's not. Next thing you know, arguing for 10 hours. About bullshit. And these cats swear they smart, man. It used to drive me crazy. Their debates never end. There's never a winner in the damn debate. How the hell do you have a debate that continues to go on? Niggas start a debate on Monday, they may not get finished until next month. Brother Cornbread Earl and me versus brother Stand Up and Don't Bend Knee. And they're debating about the sun, the moon, and the stars, part 1. You come back, what, a month later, they on part 3. So, I mean, these guys are clowns. Absolute clown, and they're dangerous. They placate black people. They distract black people. They run interference. They divide black people with these phony factions. You got Moors, man, running around here in 2019. Are you serious? Niggas calling themselves Tahaka Bay, Roy Bay, Joe Bay. Everything they got a bay on it. And the leader of the Moors, the guy Tahaka Bay, looks like a black version of Groucho Marx. Seriously. All right, let me get off the cons community because I won't stop. I hate them with the fact I could go on forever about the cons community. So anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. So in the Earthen Nation, we want to create this environment that produces the healthy mentality that we need. Okay, that's without the white supremacist programming. We wanted to recapture the original identity of who we are by jettisoning this poisonous teaching, which has allowed our true identity to be arrested and be under siege by the poisonous programming of white supremacy for so many years. We need to get rid of the false identity, which is an avatar that was created by white supremacist programming that is completely obedient to white supremacy. They're the experts of circular debate and time-wasting nonsense. If a debate produces nothing actionable by its end that leads to at least some progress, it's pointless. Yeah, absolutely, Great Black Shark. They're pointless. They are walking circular arguments. They are their own circular argument. What's bad is that one circular argument gets into it with another circular argument. What do you think that sounds like? That's madness. Oh, Polite, don't even get me. Man, look, that nigga, man, wow. 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 I don't even have any words, bruh. Wow. Whenever I see that brother, hear that brother's name, all I can do is say, wow. My mind goes blank. I can't, it's so bad that my mind is instantly blown, man. The shit that he gets away with in the conscious community is beyond human comprehension. This is otherworldly shit. Okay. But anyway, getting back to the ebulliency, creating that environment that produces joyfulness, happiness, you know, on a normal basis, every day being consistent with, you know, with what seems to be endless energy, which is brought on by the proper rest from a proper environment that produces the right things that we need to be at our most healthy, at the top of our game all of the time. So this is what the salubrious environment is for. So it can create that ebulliency, which will create ebullient people, right? Joyful, cheerful, zestful, and energetic people. And so this is also why everything that we do is based off of unity. So the unity can become second nature. Okay? We're not gonna be sitting up there telling you some bullshit about the sun takes a trip around the Milky Way and then comes back at night. Nobody's doing that. We don't know what the hell's going on out in the Milky Way because we've never been there. Okay, and I got a problem with a nigga talking about, well, listen, I'm taking people to Kemet so they can see the tombs. Dude, it's called Egypt. No, it's called Egypt. No, we don't want to have anything to do with calling Egypt, Egypt. And so my problem with you is you want to take people all the way to Egypt to see these tombs, which is what they are. They're nothing but giant coffins. Okay? People were once buried there. Okay? And so I'm assuming the pyramids that he's taking them to are tourist attractions. So there's nothing in those pyramids to go see in the first place. Now you'll go and do that. You'll get people together, fly them halfway across the world to Egypt to go see some damn tomb so you can run your damn mouth. But you won't help any of the kids over here in your own country. You won't so much as go and try to organize a field trip for them. But you carry your ass back and forth to Egypt. I mean, the nonsense that goes on in the conscious community is otherworldly. How in the hell people listen to that stuff over there is beyond. That's way above my pay grade. And the thing about it, if you sit there, you listen to that bullshit, you'll get sucked in, And you look at the conversations they have, right? All they do is argue with each other. Nobody comes up with any solution. I tell you, the debates, they don't end. How the hell do you have a debate that never ends? There was no winner. There was no loser. Even if somebody clearly wins and the other one clearly loses, they'll tell you, no, I didn't lose. No, I didn't lose either. Okay, so nobody lost? Did anybody win? Oh, I feel like I won. Well, I feel like I won. So you both won. So let me get this right. Both of you two had a debate with each other that nobody won, that nobody lost, but you both won. Where do they do that at? How do you have a debate that nobody loses, but everybody wins? This is the type of BS they want you. This is how they got $1.3 million out of Black folks. By putting up these bullshit debates that never end. If two motherfuckers get into a debate, they'll be debating for months about the same shit. But anyway, not much talent in the conscious community either. I've heard some of their rappers and singers. Oh my God. Matter of fact, I'm going to put a link in the chat. And I want you guys to matter of fact, I don't even got to do that. Let me, no, I can't play it because he might strike me down. Okay. He might strike me down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the chat. Okay. 1 second. You guys are going to be in store for a treat. You're about to hear the world's best R&B singer. Okay? Hold on. Okay. Now here is the link. Okay. One second. Let me wait here because my internet is running low. Okay. Now this is a guy in the conscious community who goes by the name of Shaka Amos, right? I want you to click on that link and I want you to listen to that, okay? He was said by a guy named Jabari, who in my estimation is a fool, said that he was a good singer. No, I'm not playing it, Cerulean. I put it in the, I put it, I put it. No, I want them to hear this shit, man. I want them to hear the world's greatest R&B singer. Just to tell you the mental illness in our community. How the hell do you sound like that and think you can sing? Oh, Jabari is deaf and too. I didn't know that. Okay. Exactly, Great Black Shark. And I'm trying to show people the truth behind this BS and how you're being distracted. This is how you were able to get $1.3 million out of black folks. See? They get you caught up in people like this who have horrific talent, but somehow get you to believe that they can sing. And so you purchase their music. This dude that is the worst rendition of any song that was ever made. Nick, I ain't paying no mind to you. I don't even want to look at what you just typed. I'm going to move. I'm going to keep it moving. I don't even want to look at it. So let's get back to the ebulliency, right? Which comes out of the salubrious environment. So when you have the ebulliency, right? Yeah, I'm not with the bullet nigga shit. you also bullet nigga shit, Nate. You also bullet nigga shit right now. But anyway, but yeah, the ebulliency that comes out of the salubrious environment. So when the environment has the resources, now it's important that we don't saturate the resources. The resources have to be efficient, okay, in order to maintain that even balance that creates the ebulliency that we need to so the people may become ebullient themselves, very cheerful, very, very happy, very joyful, very energetic, because you have a moving environment, a thriving environment. You have all of the parts in your environment working, okay? And remember, when we're doing this, we're always practicing unity. This is why I want a uniform way of looking and thinking, because that also adds to creating that natural, right, unified mentality in your mind. So even with the Discord server, all these little things that we do going forward, right, are connected to unity and being unified, okay? We want that e pluribus union. Una. We want that e pluribus una. We want to be the one out of the many. We want to stand as one, okay? So the ebulliency is created by a thriving environment that produces efficient resources. And not necessarily in abundance, you see, because abundance is not really good all the time. We don't want complacency to set in. Because when people know that you have an abundance of resources, then they tend to lack off, right? Now, I'm not saying you got to work hard all the time. Rest is definitely a must in any kind of environment, okay? But what you don't want to do is become complacent, because that can lead to a lot of bad things. That can snowball into some bad shit. Yeah. Yeah, that was the worst. That is the worst song. I've never heard all of the songs in the world, but I'm telling you right now, that's the worst song. That's the worst rendition of any song that has ever been made. Okay. And no, and imagine somebody like that, right? Imagine somebody like that juicing you for 1.3 mil. Because he was a part of that Kim and on trial debate. Actually, he was the only one in the debate, I think, that won his. Because the young dude screwed up. But all he did was get up and read one thing out of one of those books, and the party was over. I think the dude was making fun of the lock that he wears, right? So what was Anwar? Yeah, the guy he defeated was a guy named Anwar Sapp. See, again, you see these names. These guys got these wild and zany names. It's kind of like if your name is Anwar Sapp and you live in the projects, or your name is Mama Waldi, Ama Azuma, and you living around the corner on a block called Huskies, it just don't look right, man. These guys with these grandioso, over-the-top names. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. So I'm about to close it up on my rant here about the ebulliency within a salubrious environment. Yeah, complacency is never exactly. And so we want to make sure that the environment that we're creating has efficient working resources, meaning that the resources deplete and they have to be replenished, right? This keeps the people moving, this keeps the people working. Now, of course, you want to have time for leisure, you want to have time for rest, whatever. I'm not saying we work ourselves like dogs, but we want to make sure that we don't become complacent. Okay, because a complacent people, in my opinion, is a doomed people. Okay, so that's it on the ebulliency. Hopefully I didn't get too distracted with the conscious community. I just hate the conscious community for whatever it's worth. I think they're all a bunch of savage scoundrels, confidence men, and festering bunglers who do nothing but scam Black people out of hard-earned money. Okay? So, with that being said, let me, I'm going to open up the panel now. Let me make sure I have my, okay, yeah, chat. Okay, I'm going to open up the panel here. Let me see, join the panel. And we can talk more on the ebulliency of the salubrious environment. We can talk more about the Earthen Nation. And, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, because my rant is over. Hold on 1 second. So now I'm going to open it up to the people. Give me 1 second here to get my link in here properly. Oh, that's the wrong thing. That's the link to the most Harvard song ever sung by a human being. Egypt was a black land. What did you say? Yo, this would it sound like to me. Honestly, sound like Minister, 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 understand, understand, understand. That would it sound like to me? A bunch of mumble gobble boo fackle. That would it sound like? Write this down. Mumble gobble boom fackle. Mumble gobble booming fackle. That's what it sounds like. Mumble gobble booming fackle. I mean, honestly, why didn't you just come out and just say oogly boogly boo? That would have been better than what he sung, right? Mumble, gobble, boom, and fockle. That's what it is. It's a bunch of mumble, goggle, boom, and fockle. Yeah, Dan Frankie, a bunch of mumble, goggle, boom, and fockle. Hell, I can make something better than that. Listen, you did. Yeah, I'm telling you, you just came up saying oogly boogly boo. That would have been better than what he sung. I mean, I would rather listen to trains go by than listen to that song. You know what it sounds? You say, I don't know if any of you guys ever been up north. Joe's been, lives up there. Well, no, Joe's in Alabama now. I don't know if he's ever been up north. I'm from New Jersey. Okay, so there's subways and we got trains and stuff everywhere, right? I'd rather listen to the train go by than to listen to that crap. Okay, people, panel is open. Come join me on the panel and we can discuss some things. Hell, we can discuss some things. We can crack some jokes. I don't know if Joe is from New York. I know Joe lives in Alabama now. I'm not sure if he's from New York or not. You can't click on the link thing, Frankie. You gotta try to put it in manually, or go to your computer and click on it. So I don't think they work from the phone anymore. Okay. All right. So Joe know what I'm talking about. With the train, I'd rather listen to the damn PATH train. So Candy G, how about that song? You love music, right? I do too, but I briefly didn't like music anymore after I heard that song. When I finished listening to that song, I didn't like music anymore. It took me a while to get my love for music back. It just tore me up. I didn't. I hated music. After listening to that song, I just started hating music. I just hated it. I didn't want to listen to it. I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to sing it. I hated music. I was really angry about music. I didn't even know that I had a frown on my face because I hated music so much. I'm walking around, everybody telling, hey man, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what are you talking about? You look kind of angry. I do. I mean, people was coming to me telling me he was angry. I was angry and it was news to me. I had no idea. All because I listened to that song. The song affected me in such a way that I could no longer understand what type of facial expressions I was making. And it made me hate music. It took me a while to get my love for music back. I was scarred, man. The only thing left of your computer is hard drive and memory chips. That's fine. That's a good start. All you need is a motherboard. Matter of fact, Dane Frankie, I'm going to be doing the tech series coming up because I am a tech guy, and I will be talking about how to repair certain things to the computer. If your memory chips work and your hard drive work, we can rebuild your computer with just a few parts, very cheap. All you need is a motherboard. You can get a motherboard for $30, a good one too. And you can plug the memory chips into that motherboard and that hard drive in that motherboard. Get your sound card for like $35. Boom, you got a whole brand new computer. We can rebuild your computer for under $200. As long as the memory chips work. If the RAM doesn't work, you got to get new RAM. You got to add new RAM. But if the RAM works and the hard drive works, oh yeah, all you need is a motherboard and a sound card and a video card. I forgot. And there's a little something called a processor. You need that too. Oh, so it's fried then. Okay, if the only thing left is what? Was it gutted? Did somebody take it apart? There you go. Could just put in the link for a computer for $130. It's not bad stuff. So hold on, let me man, I'm tired, man, but I'm hanging in there. I did a couple of streams today. Excuse me. This time, if I get real sleepy, I'm just going to shut it. I'm not going to fall asleep like I did the other night. And, you had a lunatic like RBR speak up on the panel. So that was my thing on a ebulliency when it comes down to the Salubrious environment, And again, the Earthen Nation is about unity, and we will be promoting unity. Everything we do is going to be based off of unity. Oh, you did. Man, them niggas, man, I can't get over the astro planning, okay? You were in jail, sitting in a cell. You're gonna tell me you have the ability to leave your cell and go to another planet, and you didn't stay up there till your time was up? I would have stayed on that planet. Like, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I ain't gonna. I'll stay up here till it's time for me to go home. I'd have been up there playing cards or something. We would have got me and the extraterrestrials and super being. We would have found a way to play spades. We'd have found a way to play spades. I'd have been up there. Maybe we'd have been up there playing tonk or something, blackjack, something. Extraterrestrial super beings who are black, but you don't know what the hell they look like, nor do you know what language they speak, but somehow you understood their language. Fuck out of here. And if you believe that BS, that's how you get conned out of $1.3 million. Okay, let me post a link to that Kim on trial. But y'all think I'm playing? See, y'all think Max be talking out the side of his neck, right? I'm about to prove it to you. Because we don't know any better, Unique. We've been taught to be a chaotic people and a separate people, and a distrusting of each other type people. Okay, hold on. I'm pretty sure they might have a couple of choice words to say to me. Okay. I don't give a F. It ain't like it's not like I haven't shitted on them before. Excuse me. All right. So let me put this link in the chat. Okay. Uh-oh. See what happens here. There we go. Oh man, I can't even put what the hell? The link is over 500 words? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, something is going on. Let me go back to Kimmons. Let me, oh, man, getting sleepy, fellas. Sleepy people. Okay, let me add in co-host, the verbal assassin, commander. Everybody, welcome to the Overdrive. My co-host, the verbal assassin, and the esteemed leader of the Great Regime, Commander Cerulean Gray.
Hello.
People, how are
you? Hoorah.
Hoorah. How are y'all? Did y'all miss me? Did you miss me?
Absolutely. Always.
Actually, today, my name is actually Amenhotep the 13th of Memphis. And I'm the only man in the universe to be able to translate the Mechanetter into English
with no damn.
Hey, Max.
Yeah.
You know, as you all know, hey, everyone. Hey, chat. As you all know, I've been having some really serious issues going on that's taken my mind away from, and my time away from being able to really be here and on the panel. But, you know, as your designated co-host, I do want to apologize to you for the fact that I wasn't here when all that stuff went down last night. I apologize that I wasn't here for that.
No, you don't have to apologize. Everything's fine. Your family comes first, sweetheart. That's more important. The hell with what's going on YouTube. We was cool. We had enough firepower over here. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't want you to see the thing. Like, I heard your video this morning. I woke up this morning getting ready for work, and I turned you on, and I was listening while I was getting ready and stuff, and listening to everything you were saying, and it was very honorable to, you know, as the leader and the owner of this channel, to take, you know, your part in it for falling asleep. But, you know, you're only human, and you do very long streams, right? You do very long streams, and of course, you're gonna fall. It's normal that you would fall asleep, right? So I get that, but I just think that if you have someone up here, if you have me up here, you have Cerulean or you have Lucy, and maybe you did say this earlier, that if you don't want to close the stream down because your eyes start to get heavy, that you do give those hosting abilities to someone like me or Cerulean or Lucy, you know, or Vonda, you know what I mean? So that we can control it you know, if you do happen to fall asleep, because it happens.
Right. But no, I don't want you. You ain't got nothing to apologize for. So you had something to do. You had family issues. That's fine. That takes precedence over. Man, to hell with you too. You know, take care of your family. Is everything all right though with your family? Is everything okay?
You know what? The way that I think of things is there's so many things, you know, when it rains, it pours, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's pouring right now. And there's one thing that's very, very major, but then there's all these little things. Like I walked out this morning to go take my daughter to her school bus stop, and my window was bashed out in my car.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I found out later on today that I was the fifth reporter on my block of two derelict males walking down the street between 11 o'clock at night and 3 in the morning, just smashing people's windows out and, you know, taking what they could take. I didn't think I had lost anything because I do not keep valuables in my car for that reason. But I had my backpack in my car that had, you know, my school stuff, my book, and, you know, my books, and then my scientific calculator, I'm sorry, which is like $150, you know, just that alone, you know. So it's like, I don't know. And for it to be the holiday season or what have you, it just seems like just these little things. But for me, I'm just like, well, you know what? It could always be worse. Nobody has died. You know what I mean? Nobody's out in the street. Things can be, we all have our health. So when things happen, I just try to look at, my mind just goes instantly to, you know, what's good about everything instead of looking at what's bad, because things could definitely be worse. So I said all that to say that it is what it is, and everything is everything, and it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, I hope so. You live in a bad area, like a dangerous area, or it's just some random stuff going on?
No, it's not even dangerous. I mean, there are you know, it's not the best neighborhood that I could live in, but it's not there. It's a middle class, between blue collar and white collar workers, and families, homes, and it's very quiet. But you know, you have people who just walk around from the outskirts of your neighborhood, and you know, around this season, they're looking for ways to cause mayhem and problems, and they're looking for things to sell and stuff like that. So I mean, you kind of can't really get away from it from any neighborhood unless you live in a completely gated community with guards, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. But you know, it's all right. You know, it's okay. It's a life is ups and downs, and it's kind of a downtime. But I'm telling you, I've had worse, so I'm grateful. It'll be all right.
Yeah, you got people pulling for you in the chat, you know, wanting every day to sending you blessings and stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
I wanted to say that I did go back and listen to that stream because I didn't know what actually happened. And then I couldn't hear anything. I was listening, and then I was like, well, I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. And I'm listening to the back and forth with Cerulean, and then I heard it. And I want to say to Lucy that, you know, you did a very good job with what you had. And Cerulean also, you know, your people did a good job, Maximum, you know.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm going to temporarily pass you the host. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
I'm going to make you the host for right now, okay?
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. So, yeah, Cerulean, you sounded a little different when I came on. Like you sounded a little bit more hyper. What's going on with you on this Monday evening?
Oh, I was just translating the meta netter.
You were what?
I was translating the metu netter into English.
The mention netter. Okay.
You know, what's the name? What's that dude's name?
I forgot his name. I remember hearing him. He was saying something about. See, he was saying something about because the hawk makes the sound ah right or ah. So when you see the hawk, that's the sound that it make, and that's what it says.
You feeling good tonight, huh, Sarubi? You feeling great.
But when you see this cobra symbol, because the cobra goes.
It does go. It does do that. I've heard it. Yes.
That is how you pronounce the cobra symbol. You see, and when you put them both together, and what you get is ass.
Here's my glass. Can you just tip it a little bit? I have my glass right here. Just tip it a little bit. Just tip it a little bit. I got a chaser. Can you tip it a little bit, Cerulean?
What it says is ass.
Cerulean, no fun. I asked you to tip it.
I'm not even drinking.
Okay. Well, this is well, all right. Well, I am. I have some wine. How about that?
Yeah.
So what streams did you watch last night besides the open Sunday panel here, the freestyle?
That was really the only one I watched.
Okay, so you didn't see the Sunday Rumble.
No, I don't watch that.
I feel you. It's not a good thing to watch.
Yeah, because it's like it's literally like Coon Central Station.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
It's like if you want to hop on, like you want to hop all aboard the Coon train, right? And you want to be you know amongst a congregate of other coons, all you gotta do is go to the Sunday Rumble.
Man, and I'm never there. It just showed up in my notifications or like the suggested, and I saw that Taz was there, and because I rock with them and I support Taz and Nyla, I'm like, okay, let me go.
Yeah, well, Taz, he comes in like the extermination man, right?
Right.
So he comes in there like the rodent remover.
Right.
Like he just threw a smoke bomb in there.
Right, but it's not even. I saw last night, the time that I was on there, or just listening, or I was saying stuff in the chat, but the thing is that it really doesn't. You can't really do that there on that channel because the majority of people are against B1 and they're against Taz and Nyla. So it's like the moderators there are out of complete and total control. They are. And so everybody can say anything they want as long as it's against Taz or the opposite side. And then anyone who is in support of Taz or B1 gets deleted and timed out. You know what I mean? That's just those dudes are lame. That chat is worse than the panel, honestly. That chat is a cesspool of shit. And that's the same thing. A cesspool is shit. But yeah, it's a cesspool. It's horrible.
Well, when you feeding people, like it's like this, when you feeding people a bunch of nonsense, right? A bunch of bullshit about you get your passports, brothers. They sound just like the Hotep niggas, right? You brothers get your passports,
Right.
And you go to any other country but America, and you can find you a chick with no shoes,
some dirty toes.
the bottom of her feet.
Oh yeah.
The bottom of her feet black. So technically she's still black. Well, you know, just goofy kind of stuff.
You know, I was listening earlier to his breakdown of the Rumble last night, Taz's breakdown, and Cynthia's also. But Brother Moses was on, and he was on the Rumble too, on Taz's side, and so was Psychopatheus. And so today, on that breakdown that he did, Brother Moses made a really good point, because he said if these women, these foreign women that these men are pretending, because let's be real, they don't got no passports, okay? They're pretending to get these passports and go over there. And I use the word pretending, he didn't, but I am. He said, well, if these women are so great, they're so wonderful, they're so better, they're the best of the best, why are these women over there single also? Why are they not married and hooked up with someone? Why are they available for you to bring your dusty ass over there with your $40 in your pocket and make them feel like they're living the high life? Why are they available if they're so great? And I thought that was a really good point. You know,
yes, I mean, because they're not great. See, a lot of people don't understand. You know, a lot of people don't understand, especially if you've never been outside the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other countries treat women completely different. Like male-female dynamic is completely different. Like you go to a country like Brazil or Saudi Arabia, the impetus is always on the men. Like successful patriarchies, always established by men. It's always been men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they go harder on the men.
Right.
And the women that don't fall in line, they end up in the street life, like, you know, the prostitution rings and all that. Which
right.
in countries like Brazil is also controlled by men. In countries like Saudi Arabia is also tightly controlled and regulated by men. So yeah, they have prostitution, but their prostitution is different than everywhere else, where men control prostitution in those countries. I mean, so if they don't, if they're not marriageable, or if society or men do not deem them marriageable, they're actually thrust into a life of prostitution. And see, they don't make any distinction or bones about it either. Like what we would consider a good woman, you might very well find being a street walking prostitute in Brazil. She has all of the morals and all of that, right? Like she cooks and she cleans. You know, that thing, that cult of domesticity thing still there.
Mm-hmm.
But she's got to sell her body to get by because of society is deemed them unmarriageable for no other reason. For no other reason. And that and in those countries, that determines the economic level of the women. It controls whether or not they're poor or if they're wealthy.
Right. Right. I don't know. I just think it's
So you have guys like in like take for instance a place like Turkey or somewhere in the Middle East, right? You have guys over there that'll get married to a younger woman, right?
Right.
She ages about 10 years. She deems her unmarriageable, knows it, just you know, makes his second wife his main wife, right? Then that first wife is thrust into a life of prostitution.
Wow, that's wow. Now, where are you saying this is that they do that?
This is in places like Saudi Arabia. Mostly it's in Muslim countries.
Because I thought the first wife had the honor.
Yeah, she has the honor until she doesn't. See, that's the other misconception about those cultures, is they only tell you the the good stuff about their male-female dynamics and relationships and marriage. They don't tell you how shit really is. Like, they ain't gonna tell you that, yeah, they like younger women. So their second wife is usually younger than their first wife. And then when the first wife ages about 10, 15 years, they throw them out on their ass.
So
many cases. I'm not saying all, but many cases.
So on that topic, let me ask you this question. The men, especially, I've noticed the men in that Hebrew Israelite cult, they like to practice polygamy. What do you think about, and they say that's the answer for the Black family. Astonishingly, it doesn't work the opposite way. No.
Well, here's the problem with that. Be wary of people that advocate for polygamy, especially in America.
Oh, I am.
Women, and I would say males too, have to be especially wary of any males advocating for polygamy.
Mm-hmm.
Polygamy is only a pattern of culture whenever abundance is prevalent.
Right.
For instance, abundance of resources, abundant economy, food, abundance of land, space. Right?
Yeah.
You see, because when you look at those types of countries that have polygamy, and you look at say the economic status, because this is where people get it twisted. Polygamy doesn't save you from poverty.
Right.
See, that's the big misconception. Having sister wives don't save you from poverty. As a matter of fact, having sister wives actually hastens the decrease in testosterone due to the stress, because in countries like, take for instance, Ghana, where it's legal to have more than one wife, right?
Right.
Now, the same thing that he does for his first wife, he has to do for his second wife, and to the same degree.
Right.
But he can only do that if he has an abundance of what? Resources.
And they usually don't, especially the American Black male who has turned Hebrew Israelite, who thinks that that's the answer. Dame Frankie, I also do. I would love a harem of husbands. That would be wonderful, because you can't get one thing from one man. So I agree with you, sis. But
Well,
go ahead on.
You'd have to go to India for that.
Oh, in India, they allow more than one husband?
Well, considering the fact that in India, the men outnumber the women, yeah, in some places.
Oh, I need to go there for sure.
But I don't know if you want a sweaty, dotted Indian man.
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. But
dotted Indian smelling like armpit and fucking curry powder. I mean, I would suggest.
True. No, I don't. No, I don't. But the thought of multiple husbands who do different things, it's a nice thought. It's a nice thought, because you definitely can't get everything you want from one man, just like men can't either.
Not only that, you'd be eating hummus for the rest of your life.
That's what I won't do.
Then if you love hummus that much, I mean, hey, go do it.
I like it, but I like me some steak and some chicken wings and some oxtails and everything else. I like to switch it up. But have you actually been close to anyone who was in that religion / cult of Hebrew Israelitism?
Oh yeah.
So have I. So what I've seen is, to me, the men that I have seen who are in that religion, not only are they narcissistic men, but they are also extremely misogynistic, which narcissists, male narcissists usually are, and female narcissists are misandrous. But you know, the whole polygamy thing, here's the thing about it. You're supposed to, if they're going to do it, quote unquote, by the word, they are supposed to actually be able to fully provide for every wife that they take on and the children that come about that relationship. And that is not what they're doing. They want their wives to work while they stand on street corners in these garbs and these fringes and yell out crazy things to people passing by. They have it so backwards, you know.
Well, here's the fundamental problem is that, especially with the Hebrew Israelites, right? Their fundamental problem is that these Negroes, mostly derelict, can't tell the difference, right? They can't tell the difference between divine providence and, which is actually just some bullshit that says I have the right to do what I want because this made up fictional God in this book that I don't know where it came from has told me that I have that right. And actual culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they don't even understand environmental conditions. I mean, I've heard so-called Hebrew Israelites, you know, share many of the same sentiments as guys that you find in red pill spaces, right?
Right. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do.
And that's because that book, that book that they're using is highly misogynistic. It's highly self-isolating because you got to understand that the God of that Bible is the leader of a murder cult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is a homoerotic murder cult. You see, they refer to women as ribs, you know. But you know, niggas love ribs.
Right.
And so because they don't understand how culture stems from environment, or rather the human reaction to environment, they get to quoting that shit. Like, because see, the reason why we in this position is because we ain't followed the Most High's laws.
The Most High, that's right. Absolutely. We went astray from the laws. That's why, you know. And they sound tough, but they're still waiting on something outside of themselves to fix the problem. With all that rah they got on the street and all that strongman stuff, I've watched videos of them getting into fights with people, like fist fights with people, and it's like, okay, but that's not helping us. So if you have
you're
all
like,
of this,
no, the main reason why Black folk are in the position we're in is because we are under heel of a white ethno state that created policies to economically disadvantage our group. Anybody saying anything otherwise is full of shit. And if it's a Negro, because I don't care if the Negro is wearing a Black Power Rangers outfit from Party City, he still is very much derelict. And you really look at what these guys use the Bible. The Bible promotes dereliction in males. You don't have to do anything. You just have to wait on this otherworldly entity who acts as a ever pervasive absentee chaperone to humanity, never seeing him. Technically, if we say gave them the benefit of the doubt and said that their God was real, we'd have to attribute him to being the thing from which all of the evils of the world, specifically abandonment and dereliction, stem from. So how does the father parent his children without the children having seen the parent? So how can we sit here in the physical world and we say the father need to be in the home? Well, if the father needs to be in the home and earth is our home, then your God needs to has to be here to properly guide us. We have to see him in person, right? Because we need present fathers, because children, they never listen to their parents, but they never fail to emulate them, as the esteemed James Baldwin said.
That's true. That's true. But I see, as I think Simply Unique made a comment, they're really a bunch of dusties. I mean, I've seen it up close because I have a very close friend that I've been friends with for maybe 15 years now. And she got caught up in that because she was dating a man who is an extreme narcissist. And, you know, narcissists want control and power, not love, any of that, not connection, not vulnerability, but power. And that is a religion that tells men, you have all the power and control, and your woman is supposed to bow down to you and do whatever you say she needs to do. So for this guy, you know, people, and here's the thing, people take what you were saying about the Bible and what it does and their God. People pick and choose parts of the Bible that fits to what it is they want to do. And anyone can do that. So you can take, because the Bible does seem to contradict itself in different areas.
I mean, if you get into an argument with a Hebrew Israelite, ask him, did the Most High tell you to wear that shit today?
I still want them to answer the question about over in Genesis where it says, let us create man in his image. Who is that talking? You see, because if God was a single entity, that's not something he would say.
Exactly, us in our image, us.
Right.
Or maybe he was talking to Wilson, right? Because it was Tom Hanks playing the role of God stranded on some island talking to his soccer ball friend Wilson, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's who the us could have been. I mean, he could have been up there. Yeah.
And you know what? They keep questioning the Bible about homosexuality. Like, where are the women, man? And how come the women are like, the women that are mentioned, one is a whore, the other one is barren, who somehow had children by some kind of miracle. One had a virgin birth or something like that. I mean, you got to be kidding.
I'll tell you this. That's a pretty lengthy conversation. In 3 months, that's a very lengthy conversation with whoever her husband was, because one, when we don't have any evidence of women bearing children without the aid of a man today, right?
Well, check this out though. They got one just as equal to the Virgin Mary. They got, I think her name is Rebecca, the one that gave birth to two nations, Esau and Jacob. Esau came out some hairy-looking, devil-looking thing, with Jacob grabbing his ankle. I mean, it's these wild stories, okay, that they keep trying to beat into your head that they were actually real. And every time I bring up women, people start freaking out. What are you talking about? The woman is the devil. Well, if she's the devil, then how the hell did we get? Are we devils too? And if she's the devil, then why are men having sex with the devil?
Well, I heard a guy say that a woman is not of any worth or value at all in any way.
Yeah, and I bet you he's a $500 Patreon of a certain chesty YouTube personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless she's married. They push down women in that cult. They subjugate them and oppress them in a manner that is disgusting. I saw it with my own eyes. And my friend is now out of it, but when I was trying to speak to her about it, and I was telling her this this religion. She's like, no, it's not a religion. It's not a religion. That's what they say. It's not a religion. It's a nationality, da, 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 whatever. You can use all the semantics you want. Now she's woken up from it, but it is definitely a religion. They use that Bible like a sword and a belt, and, you know, to beat over the heads of women, really. You know, and it's just,
Well, I mean, where do you think that comes from? I mean, all of that crap, like all of the religious doctrines are meant to control the behaviors of people. They're not meant to
right,
save you from anything.
right.
They don't save you from dereliction or abandonment. I mean, how can we on one hand say that 80% of black folk still identify as Christian, and then turn around and say, well, 70% of the children in the black community are born out of wedlock, right? So that means that despite having Christian values, that never saved you.
Right.
I want to know, I want one of them to tell me, why are men having sex with the devil? Why are you getting the devil pregnant? Why are you having children by the devil?
Because the devil ain't nothing but the devil in the pussy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's
The
very
woman,
hot
the
in there.
woman is the devil. Well, okay, if that's the truth, then why are you having sex with the devil? Why are you having kids with the devil? I don't understand this.
Because the devil got some hot, wet stuff.
I mean, these guys are off the hook, man. You can't tell me who said, let us make man in our image. And we made the male and female. So if they made the male and female, then maybe the two people that were talking was a male and a female. No, man, that's blasphemy. God don't have a wife. Why not? I don't understand that. Why is that blasphemy that God has a wife?
Because he's obviously a confirmed bachelor, like a certain loudmouth, obnoxious YouTube personality that we know. So their God of their Bible very well may be a confirmed bachelor.
Man, these guys are full of crap, man.
Either that or he's an incel.
Here's the thing that I always think about as far as Christianity and Adam and Eve and all of that stuff. And if you do know any bit of your Bible, you do know that in Genesis, supposedly God said that man is not good, you know, by himself. He's not good on his own. And so he, you know, took a rib, put Adam to sleep, a deep sleep, and took a rib from him to create the woman as his complement, his helpmate. And then it was done. He didn't make anything else after the woman, but when he made the man, it wasn't enough. You see? So when we act as though the woman is not important, if you're going by the Bible, as the Hebrew Israelites claim they are, well, there's a problem. Because you weren't the last one made. The woman was, and she completed it. If you're going by what it says in that book. Right? So how are we less valuable when we completed what was perfection? We completed what was perfection for a man. So those types of that confuses me. What are you doing here?
That's not even a half of it to me. I'm still can't get past Adam and Eve. Because if the woman is the devil, and they're in the garden and Adam is with the devil, then who is the snake? Who is the serpent? What is that? Why is the serpent walking around talking Eve, talking about something? Well, you know, you can get ahead and bite the fruit off the tree and everything.
I mean, if you don't understand by now that the Bible is complete bullshit, I mean, it's literally about as it's literally about as accurate as Sesame Street.
Here's another thing that they want.
I mean, you literally have talking animals.
I know, but here's another thing too, right? Right? When I got into it with one of the guys from I think they're the 300 OC, whatever the hell they call themselves. I was talking to one of them. I asked him a question. I said, dude, what's with all the incest in the Bible? What are you talking about? What we know is about? Well, yeah, well, you know, Adam and Eve, if they repopulated everything, and how did they have children, and how did they repopulate everything? They must have been sleeping with each other.
It was brothers and sisters and cousins and aunts and uncles. It was all of that until we spread out and got enough people to where we were far enough related that it's not considered incest. But the truth is, we're all actually related at some point in time.
That's not necessarily true.
And I can't figure this out too, right? Once Cain's off this brother, and he got banished and whatnot, right? There were already people out there waiting to kill him. I don't get it. If you guys are the only people on earth, then where did the other people come from? Then he talking about Cain went to somewhere and built a country with a woman. Where did he find a woman at? And who built the country?
It's kind of like a Hollywood trailer, isn't it?
Yeah, but here's the kicker. He went out there, right, and found a woman, and they built a country together. Who? What? Just those two?
It's Hollywood, Max.
Hey.
Yeah, kind of like in a world where there's no one left to fuck but your mother.
Two people built a country together. Two people.
3 men, 1 woman, all vying for pole position.
When you ask these guys these questions, they start going round and about with all this BS about, well, this scripture. I'm not talking about the scripture. Let's stay with the 2 people building an entire country. And where did he find his wife? Since Adam and Eve were the only people on earth, right? Where did this other wife come from that you flew out there in the world somewhere and found?
In a world where there's no one left to fuck but your own mother.
Yeah, I
mean,
what,
3 men. 3 men.
Now, did y'all throw her off the boat on the way over here?
And only one can rise to prominence.
Listen, I know cults. I was raised in one. I didn't understand that I was until about 5 years ago, but now I know clearly. So I know a cult when I see one. And that Hebrew Israelite, that, you know, people might get upset, people who are listening, but I'm going to say what it is, because that's what I do. It's a cult. It is very cult.
Well, you got to understand. You got to understand the Hebrew Israelite thing. One, Hebrews and Israelites are two different groups of people inside of that Bible. They are not the same group of people. Secondly, the term Hebrew is actually Greek, which is why Hebrew and Greek are actually the same language. Actually, Hebrew is actually a dialect of Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's another problem I got. This is a big one for me, right?
And that's where you get all of the homoeroticism in that Bible. The Bible was never written in any other language other than the Greek and the Latin.
Well, here's another big problem I got, right? That I can't get past, that they can't answer either. Who was actually on that ark? There was no black people on that ark. There couldn't have been. They told me, no, there was no black people on it. You can't.
You know there wasn't no niggas on it, because
you can't tell me that black people was on the boat all that time and nobody ate those chickens.
I'll tell you this.
What, Shem or Ham was supposed to be the black son of Noah?
I'll tell you this. You know there wasn't no niggas on that ark, and the reason why is because there wouldn't have been nothing but birds on that ark, and none of them would be able to fly, because niggas would have been fucking them wings up.
Yeah, you got black people on the boat, and the chickens made it there alive. That's impossible. There was no black people on that boat.
I just want to say for the record, that's so wrong, but I'm going to go back on mute.
That's impossible. You can tell black people on that boat that long and they need 2 chickens? No. Absolutely not.
Man, let me tell you something. If Noah's Ark was real, when they said 2 of each kind, it would have been nothing but birds. and they would all be wingless.
And then here's another thing too, right? You got animals just showed up at the ark. You build and whatnot, you building the ark, next thing you know, the animals just start showing up. Yo, man, you got a room? I mean, come on, man.
Okay, so let me ask a question. So we're talking about this and it sounds really, really fantastical in our mind, right? Is there any part of you that might think this could have happened if there is a God? If there is a God, he's supposed to be able to do everything, right?
I think some of the stuff in there is real, but it's very little stuff. It's more practical, self-explanatory stuff versus this fanciful stuff about people flying and walking on water and I mean, come on. All of these men and no women around, I can't get past that. Where are the women?
Well, each son supposedly took a wife. Each son was supposedly married. Noah had his wife, and they all went in 2 by 2s as humans, and then 2 by 2s, male and female, as animals. That's the story.
Okay, so Noah took in the family and everything. Okay, now when the water rescinded, where did the other people come from? The earth was flooded.
They had a lot of, supposedly, I guess we're supposed to believe that they had a massive amount of sex. A massive amount of sex.
Wow. And right. And you don't have any doctors, no apothecaries, no shaman, no nothing?
I don't know, Max.
How did they, first of all, how did they cut the umbilical cord? What did they use, a rock?
No, they bit it off with their teeth.
They bit it off.
They used their teeth.
Yeah, they bit it off.
Is that what cats do?
I mean, and that's the thing, like Dame Breaky said, the way that Christians think of this and the way that, believers, period, think of this is like what Dame Breaky said in the chat. Nothing is impossible for God.
Bullshit. I know a couple of things that's impossible for God.
Well, that's what they say though. And what do you know that's impossible for God? If God is all everything, omnipotent, he can make anything happen and not happen. What's impossible? Because that's not how the religious folk think. That's not how the Christians think and all these other religions think. Because
the nigga couldn't write his own damn book.
Well, they say that he inspired the prophets to write the words.
I'll tell you this.
They have an answer for everything, Cerulean.
The nigga couldn't make his own damn money. He's always need money from everybody else.
No, he doesn't. Those are false prophets.
We're not even going to go into the fact that King James was insane and he was a murderer. He murdered his wife and he was a homosexual. I mean, how do we get around that?
It's a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of confusing suspect stuff. So that's why I am at this point not religious. I do believe there is some type of power, higher power, but I'm not sure what that is. So I probably would classify myself as agnostic because I don't know. I don't know yes or no definitively. Other people may, I don't.
I get confused all the time for being an atheist or an agnostic.
Well, an atheist absolutely believes there is no God. We're here by ourselves. There is no higher power. You're an atheist. There is no theo, no God. Period. They're firm. And agnostic.
See, I have a simpler way to explain it, right? That we know that there is no God. There is no human feat that has ever been achieved without humans. And so if humans, let's just say the Christians are right, God exists. And God created man, making us his children. We are therefore gods as well. And so to say that I'm an atheist is false. To say that I'm agnostic is also equally false.
Uh-huh. I just think that I have confusion. I'm not clear. That's why I say I'm agnostic, and I'm only really not clear because of the way that I was spiritually indoctrinated, and there was no leeway to believe anything other than what I was indoctrinated with because I was in a cult. But I have questions, I have concerns, because if we're made in their image, right, not his, because as Maximum pointed out, we're going to make man in our image, is exactly what it says. So if we're made in their image,
Well,
I know that me personally, one second, I know that me personally, I would not allow children to be microwaved I would not allow infants to be put in a microwave to die. If I was God, I wouldn't allow so many things that happen to people if I am so all powerful. And so when people make excuses for that, it's hard for me to deal with, because if I'm made in their image and they're so good and can do no bad and they're all for good and justice and rightness and all of that, I just think from a human standpoint, that there should be no innocent child dying, no innocent person dying. I don't, that's where I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So that's what makes me agnostic, because I've also felt like I've seen God work in my life. I've seen certain miracles happen that I felt like shouldn't have happened and wouldn't have happened. I've seen things happen where I could have died, and out of nowhere, something happened that turned the tide. So that's what makes me unsure. I don't know if there is, and I don't know if there isn't. I'm just not sure.
Well, trust me, you are not the only one who feels that way. A lot of people feel that way because we get into situations and things happen. We don't, but you see, here's the problem though. We don't know if we aren't creating those miracles ourselves. What if we are the gods and we actually got the power, and when something happens like that, that we tap into some power, some kind of conscious power.
See, that's the reason why I'm trying to translate this Medudetter into English.
Yeah. I mean, we could be gods ourselves and don't realize it. Maybe that's why the white man is trying so hard to keep us confused before we find out exactly who we really are. And if that's the case, that we are gods, how the hell do you confuse the gods? Because we're confused.
So see, how do you go ahead? I'm sorry, Cerulean.
See, because the hawk, it makes the sound.
So can I share something really briefly? And I want to see how you all would explain. What
about the pig? The pig make that.
No, this I'm going to be quick with it. But I had an experience. How do you explain an experience where you're driving in your car? This actually happened to me. So you're driving in your car. You're going down a hill, and you see a stop sign that you need to brake at, and beyond that stop sign is an intersection that is extremely busy, and you press on your brakes at the stop sign first before you get to that major intersection, and the brakes are gone. The brakes are completely gone. You're pressing as hard to the floor as you can. The brakes are gone. You don't know what's going to happen. All you know is you're about to go into oncoming east and west traffic, and your brakes are gone. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're speeding down this hill. There's a car that appears that wasn't even there. And it makes a left turn right in front of you so ridiculously dangerously that you have to swerve your car to the right to go into miss hitting that car that's making a left turn, who didn't even seem to care that you were barreling down a hill and not stopping, and you make this quick right turn, and you keep turning and keep turning. When you make it, there's happens to be a driveway that you can turn into. You turn and turn and turn, and then you end up perfectly in a spot of a parking lot, perfectly between the lines. And then when you stop, you look around, and that car who actually turned in front of you to go into the same parking lot has disappeared. Like, I will never forget that, because that saved my life and my cousin's life, who was in the front with me, or at least from huge bodily damage. I will never forget that. So that's something that I really felt at that moment was some kind of divine intervention, because the car wasn't there. I'm telling y'all, it wasn't there. And the car turned right in front of me for no reason. And you would naturally stop if you see someone's not stopping. I was forced to turn, so I wouldn't go into that oncoming traffic because my brakes went out. So that's
What
my
if you
issue.
did, but what if you're the one that actually did that and don't realize it?
Actually did what?
Save yourself.
I turned, but I only turned because the car was there. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because it wasn't even in my mind that I could turn this car and, go into this driveway real quick, because my brakes went out. They were gone. And it didn't even, the only reason why I turned was because that car made a left in front of me and I was going to crash right into it. And so it was immediate. I have to turn because this car is in front of me. That's the only reason why I turned, because all I could see was the bright intersection in front of me with cars zipping by, and I knew we were about to go into it. I wasn't even thinking. Max. I just reacted because I wanted to not hit a car that was recklessly turning left right in front of me. I barely missed that car.
Maybe that's the key to tap into conscious power. Not thinking about it, but feeling natural about it. Just actually making something happen without thinking about it.
I don't know.
Maybe you're the one that created that life-saving scenario. And I realized it.
I don't know. I just know what it felt like. And at that moment, and even now when I think of it, I can't, because I know what I was thinking and what I was looking at and how I was panicking. And I reflexively had to turn a sharp, hard right, because I didn't want to hit a car that was making a left turn right in front of me. I just reacted. But that car, I've spoken to my cousin we've spoken about it a few times, about that experience. And she had the same experience. Neither one of us saw that car just appear. You know what I mean? So it was just weird. So when I think about that, it does make me wonder. And that's why I'm agnostic, because certain things happen. I've been saved from so many little things that I wasn't really thinking of, that I wasn't making maybe even the best decisions on at that moment. And it felt like an intervention for me personally. And that's all I can say is what it felt like to me. So that's what makes me say, maybe, but maybe not. I just don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I've heard some stuff. I've heard people lifting up cars off of the bodies of their loved ones. I've actually seen a video of a woman lifting a car up off of her child. I mean, it's just strange. Could be endorphins kicking in. It could be spiritual. Could have been your guardian angel. Could have been, I don't know. It's hard to really tell.
So if we're talking about it could have been a guardian angel,
Mm-hmm.
then we have to be talking about a spirit higher power here, because where does a guardian angel come from? You know?
Yeah, I do think there's a higher power.
I do too. I just don't necessarily think there is a personage that is God. I'm just not sure. That's all I'm saying. I'm just not sure. I just don't know. And you have to get to a point where you're okay with not knowing and just trying to be the best person you can be and make the right decisions for yourself, your family, your friends, and other people that you don't even know. Being good to everyone and hope that your karma within the universe. Now, karma, I absolutely believe in. And the universe and what it brings to you and what you put out is what you get. I believe in that for sure. But there are certain experiences I've just had in my life where I'm like, I don't see how this can happen without an infinite higher power with their hand in it.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying. You could have, I don't know. I got so many ways to go with that. Maybe we create this higher power at that moment. Maybe the higher power is in us. We don't realize it. I mean, the Jesus in the Bible was quoted, I believe, more than once by saying that the power is in us.
I don't know. Sometimes also there's the whole thing of hindsight. But because I had someone else in the car who saw exactly what was going on and we've spoken about it and we've both said that car was not there. It's like it appeared. It's literally like it appeared. It really is. I wouldn't lie about it. It just appeared out of nowhere. I was actually going past the line of the stop sign because we weren't at the light yet. But we're going down the hill. The brakes are fit. I have absolutely failed. And I'm going past the line of the stop sign. And all of a sudden, this car doesn't even care that I'm not stopping and turns right in front of me. I would have hit that car horribly if I did not immediately jerk to the right and turn into a driveway. And it's just an experience that I'll never forget because it seemed like it was completely out of my control. It just really did. And so if you want to call that God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, I don't know what to call it. I just know what I experienced. And there was someone else there who experienced the same thing. And we will talk about sometimes when we will talk about it and it's like, what happened there? We're still confused. So I don't know. I don't think any of us actually have the answers. We believe what we believe, but do we really know? I mean, the dead may know, but none of us are gone yet. So we won't really know for sure. That's what the Bible says. See, now you're quoting the Bible. The Bible says that the dead are conscious of nothing. But I have felt presence of my husband who died. I have felt his presence. I have seen signs, little signs. He did not leave me, not even in my dreams, until I was okay. And he felt like I was okay. He came to my dream and told me, I'm dead. I know. I said, you're my best friend. He said, I know. But he said, you're my best friend too. I know, but I'm gone. He told me that in my dream. He used to come to my dreams all the time. And he told me in that, and he gave me a message in my dream. I'm gone though. I'm not here anymore. He didn't leave me for a while. It seemed like until his spirit knew I was okay. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that that's necessarily God, but I do believe that there is something higher than us that is here, that's generating some type of energy. I just don't know exactly what that energy is. And I'm not going to get up here and say definitively there is no God or there is, because I just don't know. And so sometimes I think that we have to be okay with not knowing for sure, but believing what we believe and living our life accordingly.
Maybe it's the brain protecting us from ourselves.
What do you mean?
Maybe there's some things that we're not supposed to know because they're not supposed to make sense.
I don't
We're
think it
humans.
I don't think it's gonna make sense to us, you know, and that's the thing that is bothersome, is because so many this is what people are doing and religions are doing, is the human brain wants to make sense of everything. The brain does not like to be confused. So we're always trying to figure out why in everything, our relationships, our children, the way they do things, our jobs, our conflicts. We are always in a state of trying to understand. That is how the brain works. The brain does not like to be confused. So when it comes to religion, we don't want to be confused. So we choose a side. Either I believe
The
or
brain
I don't
itself,
believe.
the brain itself is confused. It's always in a struggle between the waking, the waking and the sleep.
Yeah.
That is an act of confusion to separate that which is conscious from that which is unconscious. Why do humans need sleep? Oh, because, well, to keep you from being confused all the time, which means that the brain has to bear the burden of confusion. This is why you can't make any sense of dreams.
Yeah. And there definitely are subconscious. The dreams
Because
are,
dreams, I think, is where the brain unpacks all of the trauma of the waking.
right. I agree.
I think that humans, we're creatures of habit, but we're very arrogant creatures. We're never satisfied not knowing. That's the problem. Maybe there are some things that you're not supposed to know, but we never consider that.
Absolutely. I believe that. That's why I was saying that not knowing, I've decided to become okay with not having all the answers and knowing.
That's why our vision is uh, as narrow as it is. We can't see all of the different rays of light. We can't transmit all of the various rays of light. You think your brain will be able to make sense of, say, if your eyes could see in infrared? That's why the humans make tools so they can see in infrared, so you can see what it looks like. But do you think you'd be able to navigate around if you had nothing but infrared vision? Seeing no color, seeing nothing but darkness with highlighted heat sources. Think you'd be able to navigate like that? Maybe there's some things we're just not meant to do and just not meant to see, just not meant to know. Which is why we weren't born with wings, so we don't get the occasional urge to fly up into the atmosphere and find out that the air is thinner and eventually kill ourselves. There's some things that we're not meant to do, which is why humans, we make tools to do the things that we aren't really designed to do. Because technology. But my eyes are getting heavy. there, Max, Steam Lady Verbal, chat. I'm going to finish translating the meta-netter into English.
I need to know where that's going to be so I can look at it. And I need to be a moderator on your channel too, Cerulean.
You know, because the hawk says, ah. So the hawk.
Well, thank you for the conversation. I just think, I mean, people think different ways, and I think that the world is mysterious, and we might think we have the answers and we can definitively say, but I don't think any of us can definitively say. We just believe what we believe, and we take our experiences, and then we go from there. So for me, I don't know, and I'm okay with not knowing. I just try to just be a good person, and I do pray. I don't pray a whole lot anymore because I'm agnostic, but I do believe there's some sort of higher power working in my life. And so I just do the best I can.
All right. Well, I'm going to bid you guys all adieu. Salute to the nation.
Salute.
And hoorah.
Hoorah. So, Maximum, are you there? Where did Maximum go, everybody? You see what I'm talking about? Where'd he go? So anyway, y'all, I've been up here. Maximum is muted, and he seems like he's not listening. So, what do y'all want to talk about? Are y'all ready to go to bed? It's 8 o'clock here where I am. So what's going on? I mean, I'm up here and nobody's joining or saying anything, but Dame Frankie, I see you in the chat and you have a lot to say. So I know you kind of have a cold or something like that, but please feel free to hit the link. But Great Black Shark, yes, I'm calling you out, brother. When are you gonna come up on this panel? When are you gonna come up and speak? And because you're always here, I see you. So what's up? Simply Unique, you haven't been up here often, you know, as much. And I am Lisa again. You did a great job with RBR because I would have been cussing him out last night. Like seriously, I don't have that much patience. You showed a lot of patience with him. But listen. Oh, you're on vacation, Simply Unique. Do y'all see the link? Y'all should see the link, especially the moderators, which most of y'all are, who are here right now. You should see the link. So, I mean, do y'all want to close it down or you want to talk some more? Tell me what you want to talk about. I can talk about anything. What do you want to talk about? You said, I am Lucy, you said verbal, he's a broken man. Are you talking about RVR? Yes. RVR is like the uncle, the shriveled up, chunky uncle on the armchair, in the armchair where everybody's over and he's just sitting in the armchair falling asleep to CNN. And he drools, and then somebody laughs really loud, and then he wakes up and says, "What the hell's going on?" That's RBR. You know what I mean? You got to know who you're dealing with. Let me see who's here. Okay. Hello, ladies. Hello, Dame Frankie. Don't go on mute now. Asada, how are you, sister love?
Hey. Oh, sorry.
Thank you for coming up. What's going on with you?
I went from my phone automatically turning itself on to now it's trying to mute me. I guess I talked too much earlier.
Or we
Yeah,
all
but
talk too much
I
sometimes.
don't know if you saw my earlier statements about the babies and stuff like that. But I learned that when we ask the Lord to save someone or heal someone, it don't necessarily mean that they're gonna be on this side of heaven or on this part of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I always
So
thought of any children that died since they are innocents, that they're saved. They just saved in heaven. They just not in this world. And I don't know if you want to say is whatever makes me feel well. That's what I believe.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Asada, you have something to say about that?
Well, not that per se. I missed that because I had to go away from my desk, so I missed what Dan was saying. But I was thinking about what you were saying about how you barely missed being in a car wreck.
Yeah.
That has happened to me several times, several,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and I can't make sense of it. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of it. So I just
Right.
going about my business.
And oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, sis.
Go ahead.
No, what you were saying is that's happened to you several times, and it's happened to me other times also. But there are times when it just happened to me actually the other day, but it didn't feel like divine intervention. Do you know what I mean? It just felt like, okay, me and this person made a mistake, and fortunately we didn't get into an accident, but I did not go to what the hell happened. That was completely out of my control, and it felt like an otherworldly experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was real different. It was real different. So when it happens, I just don't think anything of it. I just accept it and keep moving. But I
Yeah.
know for religion, I think religion is kind of complex for a lot of us because I think religion originally stems from cultures. All religions are born of whatever culture you come from. Like Europeans, they have their own, and Africans have theirs, Asians have theirs, Indians have theirs. So I think it's a cultural thing because each of those cultures, they their communication with the divine is based on their culture. So I think here in America, it's for some of us, it's kind of skewed because originally this wasn't our culture originally. So I think it's kind of skewed for some of us because of that. So I think it's different like that.
Yes, exactly. And so do you understand me saying the reasons why I'm agnostic, or I feel that I am agnostic at this point?
Yeah, I do. Because you know what? Everybody is going to understand this on a different level. Everybody's not going, their perception is not going to be the same about any of it. Like some people who are staunch Christians, you can't tell them that Christianity is not factual or the Bible's not factual.
Right.
You just can't say it. So, their perception is just different. But for me, I'm not a Christian, but, I learned some parts of the Bible. But I
Mm-hmm.
know in the Bible, it tells you, or it says, ye are all God's children of the Most High God.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Jesus in another part of the Bible, it says, he's saying you all can do the same things that I do. Basically, your works can be greater than mine. You can do the same that I do. So when people try to put themselves as, oh, we can't be perfect. Yeah, you can. I kind of think of to me, and this is my personal opinion of Christianity, and not to disrespect anybody who's a Christian. But I think Christianity has a way of stifling a person's growth because of they put everything on Jesus. It kind of makes
Absolutely.
you not accountable.
I agree.
When something goes wrong, oh, you got to pray about it. They want
Right.
to say, oh, Jesus, take the wheel. Well, if you don't take it, what's going to happen?
And I agree to that, to your point, because if you know anything about the Bible, you do know that God or Jesus God, or however you believe, you have to do something yourself. You know, this is not an automatic, you get to lay back and do nothing. That's why he gave us free will. And so according to our free will, if you believe in that, we have a responsibility to make certain decisions, right? So if you're making decisions that are ruinous to your life, then you're going to face the consequences to that. Things happen to everyone, you know, bad things happen to good people every single day. And good things happen to bad people every single day, you know, so there's really no way to gauge how this is going to work out. But I think we all need to have our own faith and how we interact with others in the world, and our own personal integrity, because we do have free will.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree with that. But even with God, and to me, no matter which culture your God is born of, I think God works through people. You know, because if you're praying, whatever you're praying for is not going to drop out of the sky. By
Right.
chance, if your prayer is answered, it's going to be made manifest through the actions of another human being. Like if
Right.
you're praying, oh, I need some help with my rent. Your money's not going to fall out of the sky or show up under your pillow. Somebody is going to get it to you. So I believe that God works through people. So
Absolutely. And I've also had the experience when I was in my younger 20s where I was having a problem. I had an issue with my rent one month. I was like, I'll never forget it, because I'm like, oh, I don't have it. What am I going to do? Da, 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 you know, all of that. And it was around tax season. And then I got this, you know, tax refund, child support situation that came into my life. And it was the exact amount of my rent, the exact amount to the number. You know, so these are things that it's hard for me to push aside. It just is. It's hard for me to just push aside and say that just happened, because I've bought plenty of lottery tickets and ain't nothing happened.
right.
You hear me?
Oh,
But when things really mattered in my life, things happen. I remember, you know, struggling and cashing my check, and I had all my rent money and I had it in cash for some reason. I can't remember why, because I'm far removed from that. But I remember it happening because I went outside on a break, or I went and got my money, and I had the cash, all this cash for some reason, in an envelope. I can't even remember why I did that, but I did. And I went outside on a break from work, and I finished my break and I went inside. And then I started looking maybe an hour late. It was a long time, an hour later. I'm looking for my money because I'm, you know, trying to handle my business, and the envelope is gone. I have no idea where it is. I'm freaking out. Oh my God, where's this money? And it's cash. And so I backtracked my steps. And literally by the time I went back to my steps and you know, to go back to where I was after I got the money, I saw the envelope in the street on the corner, full of cash, nothing gone, and all my rent money was there. Every dollar, every dollar. And it was just sitting there. It wasn't even hidden. It was just right there. And it was there for me to come back and find it. I'll never forget that, because that saved me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So,
oh, definitely.
yeah, so there are certain things where I'm like, how did this happen? There are plenty of people who walk up and down that street that I was on when I was taking my break and around my job and walking around the block or whatever. It's there are things that I can't explain, and I'm not going to sit here and try to explain them. I just accept them.
Right, exactly. You go crazy trying to figure it out. So
Right.
just let it be.
Right. So I don't know. What else do y'all want to talk about? Y'all got something else to talk about? Asada, were you
Hmm?
on Lady Side? Did you hear Jay Shine come in here?
When was earlier today?
No, on Lady Side.
No,
It was our
Saturday.
special
Oh
guest.
yeah, I did. I heard him. Yeah, I did. Because I went to sleep then, and when I woke up, he came on. Yeah.
What did you think?
Well, I like Jay Shine. I've heard him lots of times on Cerulean's streams, and I just think he's great.
Right. What
Because
is it about?
it was refreshing to listen to a man who doesn't pile all his problems on a woman.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. So what
Yep,
do you think
yep.
about his voice though? Like, is it just me? I know you're married, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
am.
I'm single. You know what I'm saying? I date or whatever, but I'm not owned. What do you think about his voice? I mean, just sister to sister, woman to woman. Am I tripping that he has a nice voice? Please tell me. You can.
Yeah, I think he has a nice voice. It's kind of seductive. It's nice.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you on
But
that.
for some reason, it sounded familiar.
What do you
Mm.
mean, Dame?
I don't know if it's the accent, but I've heard somebody that has a similar accent and it kind of talks like he does. But I know that was like around the first time I heard Jay Shine vocally.
That was
And I don't know if
on
it's
Lady
just
Side?
somebody who's from the same area he is and stuff like that. But I kept thinking, why does his voice sound so familiar?
Yeah, it's probably an accent from where he grew up and everything.
Mm.
You know, like I was called a white girl a couple of days ago and told to go back to the suburbs, but I'm a Californian, and I have a very strong California accent, and that's just we're very hard on our A's and our syllables and the way we pronounce things. You know what I mean? It's just a very hard accent. So maybe that's what you were hearing, his accent of where he grew up. I hear it too. I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got a very nice
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
appreciate men like that coming here and speaking to us as women. I mean, I don't know if I could go on a panel with four men, and they're just shooting questions at me and maintain that kind of essence of
What do you mean shooting questions? Come on, let's be honest here. It was you, maybe Vonda and Ruby a little bit. Nobody else managed to get a word in edgewise.
oh,
Either
stop it,
you was
Dame.
talking or he was talking. Yes,
Dame,
yes.
you're always sleeping,
Um,
Dame, okay? We be like, Dame, 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 and you be gone. So what are you talking about? Don't even try it. You
I
can
was
jump in there
there. I was
anytime.
sitting there waiting. Well, I did go to sleep towards the end because I was waiting for him to finish up what he was saying so I could jump in. But shoots, as usual, when I wait, the next thing you know, he's signing up.
Right. You,
I was
Max,
like,
and
oh, well,
Chaos. You, Max, and Chaos. But
yeah, yeah.
listen, I can talk. I know that. But I don't have a problem with anyone jumping in and interrupting me. And I feel like with Max tagging me as his host, I have to talk. I have to say something. I have to keep it going. So that's why. But I don't have a problem with anyone interjecting on me unless they're talking for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, listen, somebody else has to talk.
Nah, I'm just messing with you. You asked most of the questions I wanted to ask anyhow. And the only other question I had towards the end is if he's willing to come back. Because it seemed like we stirred up a few more topics that we could go into.
Definitely, because he mentioned something about that I did hear, and it stuck in my mind. He said Jay Sean said something about marriage not being beneficial or something. Maybe I'm taking the words out of context, but he said something to the effect of it not being beneficial for men or a good idea. So that is definitely something that I would like to explore with him when he has the chance to come back. And if he's listening, if you're listening, Jay Shine, like I said, on the ladies' night panel, I think the ladies have no problem with you popping in, just if you're there.
Yeah. But I always thought that for when men are happily married, they get the benefits. Cause then when some reason the spouse is not there, usually deaf, they seem lost. I mean, like they, like they can't function. And
Mhm.
it's like they'd be like, I didn't realize how much I depended on her or and stuff like that. So usually I always wonder if it came when they said they don't see the benefit, if it's coming from an unhappy place. It didn't work out. There was a bitterness, arguments, they didn't mesh, and that's where they not seeing the benefits.
Absolutely, I agree. But see, a lot of people rush into these things and then they think that marriage, they have this idea of marriage that is this fantasy that once I get married, everything's going to be perfect. But the thing is once you get married, after dating and the courting process, that's when the real work begins. Because every day you have to wake up and you have to decide that I am going to continue to be committed to this person. Commitment is not just one time. Commitment is every day. When that person gets on your nerves, when the sex wasn't good the night before, when, they're saying something that is completely out of pocket to you and you have to work through that. Commitment is effort. It's an everyday, month by month, week by week, month by month, yearly investment. And if you're going to commit, you don't get to say, well, I didn't like the way you wore your hair the other night, or I woke up and you had morning breath and I didn't like it. Like, you have to be in. And that's what people don't want to do. They want it to be perfect. There is no perfection in any relationship, in any job, any friendship. There's no perfection. And we have to stop looking for that. You choose who you choose. You make the best choice you can based on how they treat you and how they consistently show up. And then you continue to believe in that person that you chose, and you continue to commit and communicate with that person. And if you get to a point where you know that this person you made a horrible choice, then you go ahead and rethink that. But people break up and have divorces over the pettiest stuff because they're going into it thinking it's going to be perfect. If I just get married, everything's going to be great. Just like women go and get pregnant and have babies for dudes, that ain't right in the beginning, but they think this baby is going to make it all right. A baby only makes things worse, not better, only worse. So the last thing you need to do in a messed up relationship is to have a baby with this dude, because that's going to bring the real man out of him. That's going to bring his true character out.
Yeah, yeah. I used to think I was weird because I was the only one who seemed to be thinking like this, that marriage is hard work. And you better be doggone certain that this is the person that you can see yourself with for the rest of your life. I turned down 2 proposals because I knew I could not see myself with this person for the rest of my life. And I had to let it go, you know, and it seemed like you're right. People seem to jump in. I have several classmates They, to me, they seem to jump in, and they are in divorce. They're in a divorce, and are in their second marriage. Yeah.
Well, I've come to think that maybe I'm somewhat of a commitment phobe. You know, I think that being honest with myself and having self-reflection with the opportunities I've had that I have said no to, I think I had good reasons for doing it, but at the same time, I think that I do have a commitment phobic, trapped, um, claustrophobic feeling, because even with my husband, as much as he was my best friend and I loved him and he loved me and he kept showing up, there were times when I just felt really, I felt trapped. Like, I can't do anything else. This is it. This is my life. I don't feel free. And so I know that that's something about me that I do have. So yes, I do enjoy being single. Do I like and enjoy having the um, support of a man who loves me? Absolutely, and I have that. But at the same time, I do like to do me. I enjoy myself. I go to the movies by myself. That's my favorite way to go to the movies, by myself. I go to dinner by myself. I'm good with me. I like me a lot. You know, I really do. And not because I'm perfect, but because I'm real. Um, so I think I might have a bit of a commitment phobic problem. Y'all are hearing it now here, because when you have the freedom to be who you are and do what you want to do without anyone telling you anything, and I've had it for over a decade now since my husband died, although I've had suitors and my DMs blowing up and potential boyfriends and a fiance. I just know what I want and what I don't want, and I don't feel that I have to be with someone to be happy and content. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I'm
makes
just glad I
sense.
wasn't the only one. There was one where I felt like a wolf with the leg caught in the trap, and I wanted to gnaw my foot off to get away. And I was like,
Yeah,
is that
right,
normal? I was
right.
beginning to wonder if
No, I'm listening to you. Go ahead. We're listening.
Oh, okay. I was beginning to wonder if I was too much like a dude, because I
Yeah,
heard one of my cousins, he was saying similar things, but he got engaged and then he realized he didn't want to be engaged. I was
mm-hmm.
like, okay, am I acting too much like a dude? If I've been hanging around too many male cousins, uncles, what? Guy friends, you know, but I was beginning to think I wasn't normal. It seemed
Yeah,
like every other woman around me uh, was in a hurry to get married, want to get married, all kind of the stuff they had, like ideas about wedding and married life, and I'm like, you do know that the marriage is harder than the wedding,
yeah,
and
that's
that you're
the
gonna
party.
have to work.
Right.
And they looking at me like I'm a party pooper. Oh, Frankie, you're such a party pooper. Or worse yet, they get into that matchmaking mode. I was like, please don't be hooking me up, because their idea usually points a question mark at them.
Ab-
Be like, you see me like this? This is the
Absolutely.
person you think I be? No, 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 don't hook me up, because I'm gonna look at you. My aunt made that mistake one time, and I think she was thinking about what was going on in her mind. And she was hooking me up. Person is sweet, but he's special mentally.
Hmm.
And I could not see a relationship. She was thinking because he get a check. I was like, you think I'm after dude because of his money? I was like, I am. I couldn't talk to her. I didn't talk to her for 3 months, and she looked like, oh, this person will be perfect. I cut her off. I was like, and she regretted it ever since. I said, I can't look at you the same. Either this is about you, and it's telling me you're a gold digger, or you got some weird idea about who I am.
Yeah, I think I
Oh
would have
yeah,
cut her off too.
I even had male friends try to hook me up with their friends. They'd be like, "He's a good guy." Yeah, to you, you're not a woman. If you was,
Right.
which, why didn't you hook him up with your sister if he was such a good dude?
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, and it's like you had
So
to think
Sada,
about
as
it
the
for a
man,
second.
I'm sorry, Dan. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was wrapping up. I was like, he had to think about it for a moment. Or I said, I'm not ready yet. It's too much hard work and I got some stuff I gotta handle. And one of them asked me, is it really we're really such hard work? I said, yes.
Right.
Husbands are hard work. And I ain't even married, I know that. It
Yeah.
made him rethink his relationship with his wife. They had been going, that thing where they break up and she's at her mom's or he at his mom's or something like that, and then they get back together, and then they can't stand each other and they away from each other, separated for a year, then they get back together. And I was like, yes. I said, I always thought, I always been thought that guys were the least commitment, of the sexes, and it turned out they the most committed to the sexes. In fact, there's guys I wouldn't give a free, have sex with because I knew that guy was gonna latch on to me for life. It'd
Yeah.
be like he's and him. Nah, he may look good and seem kind of nice, but no, if I give him some, I'll never get rid of him.
Right. Exactly. Asada,
Yeah.
as the married woman on this panel with Dame Frankie and I, what do you want to weigh on this?
Well, let's see, where can I start? Well, for me, I'm not a commitment folk. I'm kind of weird. I've always wanted to be a wife and a mother, even when I was a little girl.
That's not weird at all. I don't
That's
think it's.
normal.
I think I'm weird, not you.
And when I was in school, I didn't like the popular guys. I preferred the nerds. So when
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I like the
graduated,
nurse too.
I went to college, but when I came home for the summer, I started dating a guy, and that's who I married. So I got married at 19 years old, and I enjoyed every every minute of
And you've been
yeah.
married to the same man.
Yep. We
So,
have 7 kids, and
my God, that's so beautiful. I love that.
now we've had our
Yeah.
share of arguments and whatnot. We've had that, but
So
still,
can you tell the women and even the men that marriage isn't perfect, and you're not gonna that is work to make it good?
no, it's not perfect. It's not. But the thing about my husband is he's different from me. He's a little more, what's the word I can use? Um, he's a little more brash, a little more, his personality is a little more coarse than
Mm-hmm.
mine. So, see, like if I saw him, blow up at somebody, I would be like, wow, that was a bit much. And one time he did it, and I was like, you know what, we should break up. So we were like separated for a little bit, but I was like, you know what, I can't deal with this. I was like, it was horrible for me. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna have to learn how to deal with that because I'd rather be with him and be like, you know what, you need to correct yourself than just be away from him. So I was like, okay, we're gonna have to do something about this. But it's not perfect at all, because I don't think there's a perfect, there might be somebody you can live the rest of your life with, but they're not perfect. It's gonna be something about them that you don't like. And that doesn't mean you don't love them. Just
Right.
some shit about him you don't like. There's some things about my husband I don't like. He's
Right.
hot headed.
Right.
Sometimes if he gets on our sons, I think he can get a little rough. So when I see him doing that, I go in the room and close the door. I don't want to hear it because it's
Yeah.
going to make me be like, you know what, that was kind of mean. But I make sure I
Right.
don't do that. I don't do that in front of the children. I might tell him about it later. But
Right.
yeah, definitely some things that he does that I don't like.
Yeah. Of
but I'd
course.
rather have him than not. So I do.
Yeah, and that is definitely something that I think men and women need to look at. Nothing is going to be perfect, and then that's what I think is a big major problem. Is people have a wrong idea of what marriage is, what it looks like, and what it feels like. It is not a party every day. Sometimes
Definitely not.
you look at someone that you're married to, and you're like, if you don't, I'm so sick of you if you don't get out of my face right now. And they need to go to a different room and do what they're doing, and you go to a different room and you need your space. I personally need my space. I need it. I cannot have anyone up underneath me. I can't, it upsets me. I get anxiety. I can't have it. So I definitely need to be with someone who gets that about me and is not offended by it because it's not personal. I'm that way with my children. And two of them are adults. I only have one minor child, but I'm that way with her at times. Now, when I come home from work and she's home from school, she's all over me, and she's talking to me and she's telling me about her day. She tells me everything about it, the things that happen with her friends, and she's 14. But I don't have to pull that out of her, and I appreciate it. So while I'm getting undressed, I'm getting settled in, she's talking to me and she's telling me about her day, and I'm listening to her and I'm asking her questions and everything. But when that part is done and she gets her time, I need my time because I'm a human being and I've worked and I've stressed all day and I need some time to myself. And she understands that. The people in my life who love me and know me, they get it. They're not offended. You know what I mean? So I think that personal space and personal boundaries are important in any relationship that you have, whether it's your children or your spouse, because we're all
Yeah, that's true.
people.
Yeah, I agree with that. And sometimes when I was in college, the second time, sometimes I would take a break and go to lunch by myself. But other than that, like if I go to the store, my husband goes with me. And basically wherever I go, if I'm not at work, he goes with me. And it doesn't bother me, but we weren't really like that when we were younger because he used to play ball and go fishing and different stuff like that. But now it's like he goes everywhere I go. So, mhm.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're best friends, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I want a best friend, husband lover like relationship. So I guess that's why a lot of the guys I be trying to make them friends first, and I end up in the friend zone most of the time. I was like, oh my goodness, I got into the friend zone and they don't see me that way, and I was like, or the weirdest one for me, the little sister zone, where they don't see you, they see you as their little sister. And I was like, how did I get into a little sister zone? It's a certain look and the way they act like you're their little sister that's trying to get stuff out of them, even though I'm not trying to get stuff out of them, or we're not trying to get stuff out of them. Anyway, I I get into they help me without any strings attached to it, but I be on their clock and stuff like that. And, in some ways I'm okay with it. I realize it's not going to work, but it's kind of like a step below a friend zone. They just put you in little sister zone.
So let me just bring something up. I'm looking through the chat, and I see Happy Nappy had she made this maybe 30 minutes ago, this comment, and I want to know what you ladies think about it. Happy Nappy says, in psychology, believing in things you can't see, prove that exist, and or have any evidence of is a mental illness. What do y'all think about
I
that?
don't know. You know, when I was younger, when I was in middle school, well, let me start here. Ever since I was really little, growing up, my grandmother used to tell me stories about my great grandmother. So I felt like I know her personally. I know all the things she did. I know how she cooked. I was taught to cook the same way. I learned all this stuff. Hold on a second. Yeah, I learned all the same things. And so when I was in middle school, one day I was going to sneak out of the house with some of my friends. I see Gabs in the chat. I'm like, I'm Gab. Or like, I was going to sneak out. And as I was getting up to put my clothes on, I felt something heavy on my shoulder. It felt like a hand. And I heard this voice. It said something to me that my grandmother said, that my great grandmother said when she held me the first time. And I never met my great grandmother, but I heard her voice. That said something to me, and I didn't do what I was going to do. So I had never seen her in my life, but I felt her presence and I corrected myself. And I don't think what she said was insane or mental illness. I don't think that was mental illness.
Yeah, and that's the thing about judging people's beliefs. And that's one thing that I try not to do. I can have an opinion and I can say for myself, it's weird, right? But I mean, I've listened to so many beliefs and I've heard so many things and I've read so many things that I understand that people have different experiences and you can't negate those. Just like the experience I gave you all about something that literally felt within me supernatural, right? I don't know for sure it was. I know what it felt like. And I know I've maybe had one or two feelings like that in my entire lifetime. And so, we can't say that it's a mental illness. That's going a bit too far. Just because you don't feel that there's a higher power working within your life.
Or maybe if she doesn't understand, because you know what, different people are going to have different experiences. And just because somebody doesn't understand your experience, it shouldn't nullify it.
Right. Or call it a mental illness because you believe that they're in this grand world, in this universe, and all the crazy things that happen, they're unexplainable, that someone would think, maybe there's something outside of myself. I don't think that's mental illness to think that there's something that could be outside of yourself. I just don't think.
I was primarily most of my life. So, and my children are homeschoolers. So we always have a segment with each, I have children in every age group. So when I get to the youngest group, they're the only ones still homeschooling. So when they ask questions like that, I have to tell them from my experience. And, I tell them, I said, well, you know what? You wake up every day and your heart beats every day. Nobody got to plug you in. How do you keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Your heart keeps, and we're people where our heart beats off of electrical impulse. We are electrical. So how do we keep going if nobody plugs us up?
Yeah. I think people are just so adverse to the whole quote unquote religious thing, going to church, having a pastor, the collection plate being passed around. I think that's what people focus on. And it colors their whole view of what the universe can actually bring to you and the whole, what it is that we don't know. Because it's very sad for us, for us to walk around here as humans thinking that we just know everything about this vast universe. We don't.
Right.
So there could be many things that we're missing, right?
Mm-hmm, definitely. And for me, I don't, a lot of people put a lot of stock in pastors and stuff, and I don't. You know, most of the men I've been hit on in my life have been married preachers. So they don't really
Right.
hold any weight with me. They're just regular old people. They're not any closer to God than the next person.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Dan Frankie, you seem to have, because I was looking at what you were saying in the chat, and you were talking about heaven, you were talking about babies. What is your view on the whole spiritual aspect and the higher power and the universe and God? You believe there is a God. Am I correct in that
Yes.
thinking or no?
Yes, you're correct. I believe in God, and I do remember I have had a time when I just did not want to believe. I had those very same questions of why did God allow all these terrible stuff happen? People being killed, children being killed, all this other stuff. And I did what I call the running away, trying different religions. And then when I came back, I was like, okay, God is real, but I'm not learning, I'm not understanding, and people didn't seem to be able to answer my questions. And I would go to church to church to church, and then I was not going to church to church to church. But eventually, most of my questions were answered to my understanding. I still have people I know that I could tell them this about the baby, and that God gave us free will, and because we gave us free will, there's some people that's going to do good, and there's some people that's going to do evil or bad, or and He can't stop that, because if He stops us from being able to do evil, then that means we no longer have the free will. So I went through all that. I just had to go by what I've found acceptable to me, the answers, because I can, as I said, I can give persons the same answer, and that's not a good enough answer, or that's it seems to be a contradiction in their mind. Or are they saying, okay, well, since God created Lucifer, then He created evil too, and how could He be a good God and create evil? That's another one that tends to go around. And I answered, He didn't intend for Lucifer to be evil. Lucifer chose to be evil. He was jealous.
And that's where free will comes in. The concept of free
Yeah,
will.
it goes back to free will.
Right. Right. And
Yeah,
not only us humans were given it, but if you believe in anything of what the Bible says, or you think it makes sense in any way, you're told from the beginning that even the angels have free will. Listen, even Jesus had free will. Okay, that is what the word says. So whether you believe it or not, it's what it says. That's all I'm saying. No one has to believe it, but we have to go by what it says if we're going to talk about it, and that's what it says, right?
Yeah.
Christ did not have to go through what he went through, but he did it according to the Bible because of his love for us and his love for his Father, right? That's what the Bible says when we're talking about that. And I can separate my misunderstanding or my belief by what I'm reading, and I know what it says. So I'm just talking about what it says, right? Everyone has given free will. And if it is the truth that there is a God who gave us free will, you have to recognize that that is a beautiful thing for a God who doesn't have to give you free will to actually give you. He does not force anyone to believe. He does not force anyone to love him or serve him he doesn't force that. He could have, if he's real, he could have, but if he's real, he didn't, right?
Right. Yeah. So So it gets back to all the wars. They go around to all the wars that's fought in his name. I said, if you look at every religion ever, there's been a war with people between the people that believe and the people that don't believe, or they believe differently, or whatever. Every religion, even the so-called what's that? The one where they don't kill Hindu or whatever it is. I'm trying to remember, and I was surprised that such a religion that was against murder and killing anything, let alone people, has such a violent history. So I said, okay, so no religion is omitted from violence, because people are very passionate about what they believe. And I guess it got to the point where if you don't believe, then you an enemy, and that's how the war started.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's going on in YouTube. Okay, because we don't believe the way they do, or we the enemy. They're not coming at it. Okay, you got a point of view. You got a point of view. These are the facts. These are the facts that I have. They're coming at it that you are the enemy, and they determined to demolish you. You know, to beat it into you that they are right. That's why you get some of these people twisting themselves into pretzels, not to agree with what is the truth, or what are facts, and all that other stuff. I was like, is it me? Is he twisting himself in the pretzel not to agree with this person?
So, dang, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to answer it. Absolutely not. You don't. So, are you dating? Do you have a man, someone you like, someone who gives you butterflies or makes you scrunch up inside yourself when you see him, or hear or see his name on your text? Do you, Dane?
No, I'm not dating. I have no one like that. Um, no, 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 no. I just kind of shut down. But that's just me. I'm trying to shake myself out of it. But yeah, I don't go looking. I don't go dating. Most of the ones that show an interest in me, I don't see them that way, or they just a friend.
Yeah.
Nothing involved. At least not on my part. Or they hooked up with somebody I became friends with, and I can't see them that way. Once you hook up with one of my friends, uh, you don't exist as far as boyfriend, lover, you know, husband material. I just can't. It's something that has been with me since I was aware that boys exist and that they were cute. And I wanted to be near them. And Shooks, Shooks, that's a really long time. I remember I was 2 years old. Um, went with a boy to his grandmother's house. Didn't even know that neighborhood that well. Got lost going back. Oh, wait a minute. Was I two? I might have been three. Yeah, I don't remember. I just knew he was cute. I liked him. He was brave. Cause this school I was at, I don't know if it was in Texas or California. Their playground was at the top of a building, the top floor of the school. And this boy would walk the edges of the building. I was like, oh, he's so brave. Oh, he's so crazy. Get down from there. You're gonna kill yourself. And he would push me when I got on the swings. Oh yeah, I loved him. Yeah, but I got out of love with him when I walked with him to his grandmother's house, and I got back and I got lost. Oh shooks. Oh, wait a minute. No, I remember my stepfather had a fit, and I ended up not going back to that school. So I don't know if I would have still been interested in him, but I realized at that very young age don't no matter how much you love him, you can't be going, you can't be following him. He'll lead you astray, and you'll get lost. Even though I know it wasn't his fault, but it kind of made me a little leery. Mm. So when you see 2 and 3 year olds and they seem to be in love with somebody, I think they are in love, or at least they believe they're in love. They're very interested in the person they seem to be following around. At least that's the way I remember it for me. And yes, I do have memories that go far back from when I was 2 and 3 and 4. It's just that I just couldn't differentiate what state I was in, what city I was in. Only way I could tell Texas from California was the snow. Any memories I had where there was snowing, I was in Texas. Okay, I got sidetracked. What was the question again?
Just if anybody's in your DMs. That's all I wanted to know. Is anybody in your DMs?
Oh my goodness. You got to stop me, Verbal. I would keep talking if somebody don't interrupt me.
You're good. You're good.
Y'all gonna learn my whole life history before y'all learn my name.
Everybody in the chat is scared, especially the men. The men are scared to come up when the women are up here. Don't be scared, fellas. We got you. We don't bite, we lick. You're good.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've always developed crushes, and I always made the guy my friend first. And a lot of times I was the friend. I was putting the friend zone. I don't see you that way. You're my friend. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be your friend. I want to be your girlfriend. I'm sorry, I don't see you that way. Yeah. Dang it.
Yeah.
And I was settling a friend. I eventually get over it. Oh, shooks. I even remember in high school. Okay. Talking about attraction to nerds. He was kind of nerdy, and I was attracted to him, but I was like, I'd rather be his friend than nothing. So I stayed there and I kept quiet about how I really felt about him. And he was a year older than me. Until a prom season. Now he was deciding he was gonna skip out on prom, and I was like, why? And he was like, I don't have a date. And I said, well, I'll be your date. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, I'll be your date. And he said, no, no, no. He said, I'm just not gonna go because the girl I really want to take, I don't think she'd be interested in me. And I'm like, of course she'd be interested in you. You're smart, you're cute. I'll go with you. And he's like, oh, okay, we need to have a talk. You're my friend and I don't see you that way. And I was like, is it because I'm fat? Yes, I was a fat teenager. Well, I'm still a fat teenager, Shooks. What I'm talking about. Yeah. And he's like, no. He said, no, I'm just not attracted to you. You're my friend. I said, oh well. I think you should go ahead and ask her out. I said, well, first I said, okay. I said, he was like, did I lose you as a friend? I said, no, you didn't lose me as a friend, but I need a couple of days. So if I don't talk to you, see you, just give me time. I need to shift how I'm feeling, and I need to deal with the broken heart.
Right.
I said, go ahead and ask her because you never know. You never know. Ask her. So I go off to PE and stuff like that. And it's one of them days where we dressed out and we not really doing anything. So girls getting together, we talking about which boys we think are cute and stuff like that. And I'm still heartbroken. So I broke out and uh, um, I was like, I'm just gonna give the initials. E. E is I think E is cute. There you go. E. He's a nerd. Exactly. He's smart. He's cute. He's fun to talk with. He's funny. And they all looking at me, E? And say, yeah, especially one girl. I was like, She's like, well, I never really noticed that. Y'all always being so close. I said, I thought y'all were, going together, stuff like that. Nah, nah, he's not really into me like that. He just sees me as a friend and stuff like that.
Mm.
So, okay, a couple of days later, after I'm kind of getting over my broken heart and I'm accepting that, okay, I'm just another friend. And I come back and he's excited to see me. He said, yeah, perfect timing. You know, you won't believe I asked her. And she said, yes. So I got a date for a prom. And I was like, oh, okay, well, who's the girl? You never would say. He said, well, I didn't want to get my hopes up. And guess who he talked to? Who he's dated? The girl that I told to in PE who didn't see him that way. And I was like, what? I said, okay, girl, congratulations. And after he went off to the library for practice for the debate, yeah, he was in the debate club. And I had to confront. I said, what the hell is going on? You weren't even interested in him. What the hell happened? He said, well, after after you said all the things you said, I started seeing him differently. But I was surprised when he asked me. But I didn't know, I thought y'all was just friends. I could turn around. I said, are you crazy? I was like, no, 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 no. I said, he just sees me as a friend. I'm still dealing with a broken heart, but no, no, no. You who he wants to go with. I can't take that away from him. So they go to the prom and stuff like that, and they hit it off. And she was like telling me, that Ollie is telling me how wonderful he is, and I was like, yeah, yeah, I know. I'm the one that told you, and how he made her feel smart. She was like a number 9, and he was like about a 7. Well, to me, he was like a 7. To other girls, he's probably like a 6 or a 5. If we was to number it, and how wonderful he was, and how it was great to be a guy who was a gentleman, and wasn't trying to just get in her pants, because and they became a couple. They became a couple for a while, and I told her, I said, because she's the 9 in the relationship. I said, if you break his heart, I'm gonna break your behind. I was serious as a heart attack, and they broke up. He's telling me, I'm like, how's such and such going on? How's your date with so and so going and stuff like that? Because he tell me, and I can't help myself. I gotta listen.
Hello.
I had to know. And I was like, oh, that's all right. But we broke up. We just realized
What you say?
we just be good friends.
Yeah,
And
I
I
gotta
said,
take my
what?
cash from working on something.
They said she
Unfortunately.
broke up with you. I said, well, no, we broke up with each other. So I just knew,
No,
I just figured he was
no.
just saving face.
It's some old stuff I
So
gotta
when I
get to.
confronted her about it, I was like, you broke up with him. She said, no, no, we broke up mutually and stuff
Huh?
like that. Even though we like each other. Oh, you want me to stop? You need to jump in?
Yeah, I'm
Oh no,
trying to
I
find
think
something
that
to
was
put my phone in
that's
break.
Asada. I think she's talking to someone.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, and I was determined. I was like, no, you're lying. You broke up with him. So she had to bring me to him, and they had to talk to me. No, we broke up mutually. I was like, I talked to them individually, and they told me, yeah, she realized that except for the initial attraction, it wasn't really much they had in common, but they were good friends. He showed her that she was more than pretty face, and that she was smart, and he brought out the secret side of her that liked poetry. I didn't even know she liked poetry, and I thought we was pretty close. But yeah. So she liked poetry, made her feel smart, and that she was more than just a pretty face and a body and all that other stuff. And she realized that she wanted to date more guys like him, and that she'll stop going for the popular guy or the jock guy and stuff like that. She'll give other guys a chance. It's just that between them it wasn't. And he said something similar, you know, um, in reverse, that she was nice. He was surprised that there was more to her than her face and body. I was like, dude, of course there's more than her face and body. He said, but that's was all she was presenting, so that's all he saw. And he's a dude. He said, I may be nerdy, I may be shy, but I'm still a dude. And I was like, okay, dude, and stuff like that. Now you're making me look at you some kind of way. He said, no, no, no. I just realized I needed more than that. And though I had fun talking with her, and I enjoy sharing books with her, and I was surprised about her poetry interest, but she just wasn't the one for me. So they got something more from it. He got more self-confident, the cocky bugger. Still think he's cute, but let's just say there was more strut in his walk than it normally was. And and unfortunately, for the rest of the guys in the school, she shut down all the guys. She stopped dating. She concentrated on her grades. I was like, and I guess she had, I didn't realize it, but I guess she had a kind of quiet reputation as the good time girl. Yes, we do have quiet girls that's kind of loose. But
Yeah.
small town, you want to keep it shut. You want to keep it quiet. You don't want everybody knowing your business. Small town. So uh, so there was a lot of guys that was ready to jump on E because they figured he screwed with her head, and now she was no longer being the good time girl.
Right. So, thank you, Dave Frankie, for sharing that with us. I am really, really sleepy now. And I don't know where Max is, but I'm so sleepy, I can't go on. So I want to, for me personally, I have to leave, have to get up early and go to work. So for me, I'm gonna bake off. And thank you, Asada, for coming up, and thank you for Dame for sharing your story, and for everyone in the chat listening. Maximum, are you there? He might have gone to sleep, y'all. So,
Oh my goodness. Max! Oh well, I guess we're just gonna have to let it get quiet and see if the quiet will wake him up.
yeah.
I
Go
didn't
on.
think about it. My voice could have just put him deeper into sleep. Because I don't think anybody can scroll up to go to um to get to the link.
Hi, everyone. So I had something I had to take care of, but it's been a nice stream. It seems like Max is asleep. I have to go to sleep and get up for the next day. So thank you, Vasada. Thank you, Dane, and everyone in the chat. And good night. Until next time.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.